colliding with Mobley. The team returns to action tomorrow when they head to Boston to face the Celtics. Dodgers took the series lead over the Blue Jays last night in a historic World Series matchup, taking down Toronto 6-5 in 6 hours and 39 minutes, the longest game in World Series history. Shohei Ohtani went deep twice, tying the game at 5 apiece in the 7th inning, and that's where the score stayed until the 18th.
11:50 in Los Angeles.
Thurman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes me. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
That sound is courtesy of Fox. Toronto will look to tie the series up tonight in LA when the two sides face off in Game 4. Week 8 in the NFL concluded last night with the Chiefs taking down the Commanders 28-7 in Monday Night Football. Cleveland Heights native Travis Kelce's late third quarter touchdown marked his 83rd career score, tying former running back Priest Holmes for the most total touchdowns in Chiefs franchise history. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Meredith Kane.
Catch Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin live on YouTube each and every weekday from 2 to 7 p.m. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
I agree with you, Ken. I'm kind of over watching Dylan Gabriel attempt to play.
Kinda. There's a kinda in there?
Yeah.
I'm done.
But
I'm finished.
Do I get to say I told you so? I told you guys this guy sucked. I told you in training camp.
Here it is.
I told you.
The floor is yours. It's victory lap Monday, I should say, with Daryl Ruiter. I've been waiting for this for a while, Daryl.
I can't with Dylan Gabriel. I hated the pick when they made it. I hated watching him lay eggs during practices in training camp. And I hate watching him try to play NFL football. He is a backup quarterback. Put him in there, play a game or two, that's fine. But to try and sell him like he's some starter in the making in the National Football League, and for Jimmy Haslam to say what he did last week about no, I'm not giving it a chance. When you can't complete passes in practice, you can't play in the National Football League. Sorry.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Oh, and well done. Daryl Ruiter still fuming from the weekend. Sitting here, ready to explode on the Cleveland Browns. He's Daryl Ruiter. Guess what? I'm not Ken. I'm not Anthony. I'm Andy Baskin. And what you are getting for the next 4 hours is an extended version of Brownie Bites, the hottest sensation on our YouTube channel since, since last week. He's Daryl Ruiter. I'm Andy Baskin. Owen is here to steady the ship. Owen, always a pleasure, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
Always a pleasure, especially wearing that Kent State hat this morning. And, of course, Mitch is here. Daryl, how was your blood today?
The blood pressure is good this morning.
It was not after the game on Brownie Bites. The thousands of thousands of people that listened and watched on the YouTube channel to see you explode immediately after the game on Dylan Gabriel and his prowess as the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
I've had to watch 41 of these guys. Okay? Yeah, the cuppeth runneth over, and I'm out of patience. Find a quarterback, okay? Andrew Berry ain't the guy to find the quarterback either, but go find a quarterback. Please, for everything that is holy with the sport of football, find us a quarterback. I can't do the quarterback carousel anymore. I can't do.
We have 2 more that we can go through this year.
I know. I can't.
Maybe even 3.
I can't do quarterback jersey jokes anymore. All right, I got chastised on the afternoon show because I made hey, guess what? Next week, everyone will be in a good mood. Browns won't lose. It's the bye week. Well, we've been making those jokes for 30 years as well.
Well, people thought this was going to be the bye week as well as for your head coach.
Well, no.
There were people. I mean, look, I think people in the media all assumed that Kevin Stefanski wasn't going anywhere.
Once Jimmy said what he said last week at the owners' meetings
Yeah, but sometimes that's the kiss of death. That was the one thing I was like, how come you did that?
Because phrasing matters in the endorsement.
Okay.
How the endorsement is delivered matters. And the fact that Jimmy went through the inglorious resume of everything that's gone wrong, that wasn't Kevin's fault, told me there will be no move made during the season.
I don't want to dance around. I want to go right into what happened yesterday and what's not happening this week. And I said this after they traded Flacco. Where is Andrew Berry? Why is he not talking? Why are we not hearing from him? I'd like to hear from Paul DePodesta, too. I'd like to know if the strategy was to bring in 4 quarterbacks in the beginning of the season and then dump the 2 veterans and then watch, 2 young guys play, okay, stick up and can we hear? Why do they continue to throw Kevin Stefanski out there and have to answer questions for the front office? And you asked this yesterday, kind of. Like you asked in a very polite way, I thought. Where is Andrew Berry? Where is he? And why is he not talking?
Well, according to Kevin Stefanski, Andrew is busy doing his job. Whatever that might be right now, which the trade deadline is coming up.
Okay.
And
he made 2 deals and didn't say peep about them.
Correct, including trading the Week 1 starter to a division rival, and now said Week 1 starter who struggled mightily here is looking like he's got plenty of gas left in the tank for the Bengals. I know the Bengals just lost to the Jets,
right?
But that wasn't because Joe Flacco laid an egg. That was because, their defense was basically a wet paper bag as far as resistance goes. All right. Flacco looks legit again down in Cincinnati, and there are questions that should be asked. Why does your offense look so inept, and especially with Flacco having been here, and now he goes to Cincinnati, and he looks like he belongs again in the National Football League? That is.
I can answer that with 2 words: wide receiver. They have them. We don't.
Yeah. Well, I had to do that. That was 7 words, Andy.
Oh, did I say 7 words? Yeah. I say 2.
You said 2.
2. Okay.
Owen's checking my math right now.
I don't do math. We don't have math.
7?
7?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. 7.
I don't do math. We don't do math on the midday show. Sorry, bro.
This is a big math show. So
I know.
Got to get used to it.
All
There'll
right,
be a quiz at the end of it.
Oh, man.
Owen's the fact checker. If you get your math wrong, he's got you.
That's all right. Travis Kelce took care of all of us Cleveland Heights grads last night. We're good. But get back into this. So, where is Andrew Berry? Look, Daryl, you cover all these teams, right? We all have for years.
This is the first time.
There is no way. Hang on, just real quick. There is no way the Guardians/Indians have ever walked away from a trade without making a statement. I don't care if it's 2 single-A players that got traded. They will step out and talk about anything. If somebody like on a single-A deal,
someone from the front office is usually available every homestand.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't know, and maybe it's the NFL. Do general managers generally?
Yes, they do.
They talk. I'm not nuts.
No, you're not crazy.
Especially at the bye week when you're trying to assess what's going on.
This is the first bye week that I can remember in which the general manager will not be available. This is also the first bye week that I can remember where, and I'm not going to complain about this. Actually, you know what? I would like to thank the Cleveland Browns this morning.
They gave you a day off?
I would like to thank them for the additional time off during the bye week, because usually I would have to work today, and I would have to work tomorrow. Players are, mandatory off Thursday through Monday. That's CBA. So you know what? I'm going to take a different tact here.
You're kind of working right now.
I am going to thank the Cleveland Browns for the extra time off this week, because I work really hard. Thank you for the extra time off and not sending Andrew Berry out to not actually answer questions. I think Kevin Stefanski does a pretty good job of that on his own.
Well, I want to just, for people that call in, we had people call in yesterday after you appeared on your normal Monday at 8:20, brought to you by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store, which that gets us for later on in the day when you were supposed to do that hit. But people calling in and going, why don't they ever ask this or that? And I said then, well, it's a dance, guys. You can't just show up to the first date and be like, so are we getting down tonight? That's not how things go, right?
I don't know. Not in today's world.
There's a dance to it, but I want to give you credit.
I can tell you in the 80s that you're 100%
Daryl,
right.
if you remember, this is you yesterday talking to Kevin Stefanski and asking about Andrew Berry.
Yeah, Kevin, I apologize for asking a question I normally ask Andrew, but you're here. So with the trade deadline that's coming up here, do you see the team focusing maybe on moves similar to the Greg Newsome, Tyson Campbell trade, where you're more so looking for getting players that can help you now as opposed to picks? And then also, too, what is your role in those conversations when it comes to, looking for help that you need with the roster?
Yeah, you'd have to ask Andrew. I'm just kidding. Listen, AB is doing his job. We talk every day about opportunities that may or may not come up. I really like the group we have, but I'm sure, I know we're working hard and looking at all those avenues, but I like the guys we got.
So that pause yesterday, Jeff and I both were like, we held our breaths for a second. We're like,
here's the thing.
He's going to answer? Because
you'd have to ask Andrew.
That's right.
Here's the thing. I was a millisecond because I was going to ask more directly earlier, and then I saw the expression on his face, and I was like, okay, he's not real thrilled where I'm going with this. So I pivoted to the how you handling all this losing you're doing, and then I circled back. And when he dropped it, you have to ask Andrew, I came within a millisecond of snapping back at him and saying, well, I have to ask you because Andrew's not being made available to us. I came within a millisecond of firing back, and then he said, in all seriousness, just kidding, and then he gave an answer to the question. He gave an answer, non-answer to the question.
He did,
but
say,
at least we got a response. But
yeah.
I was that close, and I honestly, I think Kevin saw my expression on Zoom. I think he saw that I was getting ready to pounce, and then he diffused me by giving me an answer, non-answer.
We held our breath. I was in that moment before he said, "I'm just kidding." I'm telling you, we looked at each other. We're like, I can't believe he just did that after what Daryl just said. And then we thought you were coming right back and saying, where is the general manager and why? And I thought the real question would have been, and this is nothing against you or anybody, so please don't take it that way. Are you not tired of answering questions for the general manager?
Yeah.
That's in the back of my mind.
Here's the problem with that.
It's absolute garbage. They make him go out there and answer questions like this about trades and stuff like that. And someone's got to answer, because if they're not going to come out and do it, when you make a trade, you've got to step out and say, hey, we made our team better because of this. I'm not saying it's got to be negative all the time either. It's, you know what, we really felt like we made our team better. And that's all you have to say and move forward. But why are you throwing your head coach under the bus consistently by making him answer personnel questions when we all know the number one line for a head coach is, I can only coach the players I have?
Well, first of all, there's two things here. One, I go back to the Paul DePodesta baseball management philosophy, and that is, we don't have to explain ourselves. We do what we do, and we don't have to explain ourselves.
Which is weird, because he comes from the organization that's probably one of the most open and honest organizations in all of sports.
But you also have to understand he was with like 12 other major league teams after being with the Cleveland Indians.
But when he was with us,
right?
I mean, you can rip the baseball team all you want. They're as transparent as anybody in town.
I would agree with that.
And anybody in the country. I've been around it. I was around it every day, and they're not scared to answer questions at all about anything.
Except for when I asked Chris Antonetti if he's going to spend more money this offseason.
Well, we all know what the answer is there. So.
I got the ultimate, our fans were great. They showed out and showed up this season, and we really appreciate that. Next question, please. But no, a couple weeks ago.
If you want to question me, hang on. If you want to question me on this, just Google Kaz Tadano. Keep going.
After the Joe Flacco trade, it was a week after it.
Right.
Kevin was asked if he and Barry were still aligned, if they were still on the same page.
Are they still thought partners?
I think that I think there might be some trouble in paradise. I do. I think there might be some trouble in paradise, and I think I said this with the afternoon show. The one thing...
Show your work.
Well, we saw this last year with the Ken Dorsey situation. Remember, Kevin was going to call plays, and things weren't going well with the offense, and then finally he washed his hands. He turned the play calling over to Ken Dorsey. I think that was Kevin's way of saying, you wanted this guy, he's all yours, now you're going to see what he can and can't do. I'm washing my hands of this. I am not wasting my time and energy with this, okay? And I feel like right now, and this is my opinion, I feel like Kevin's at that point this year. This is what you gave me. Okay, I started the season with thinking Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett to be my quarterback. And I am forced to throw out there Dillon Gabriel, regardless of whether Kevin wanted Dillon Gabriel or not in the draft, is, for me, immaterial. Just because you want a player in the draft doesn't mean you think he's ready to play now, right? And you think he's going to give you a fighting chance, which, by the way, Dillon Gabriel does not give you a fighting chance to do anything but lose. So I think with Kevin right now, he's close to that. Well, this is what I have to work with. And so you do some things out of spite. You call certain plays to, well, hey, this is the wide receiver room you gave me. Can't count on any of them, including the guy that's frustrated. He's basically out there doing cardio every Sunday that you not only traded for, but you gave a contract extension to make him a core piece. He's a number 2 wide receiver at best, but you're making him a number 1 receiver here. That's what you gave me. What? Fine. Then this is what I'm going to call. And this is where Kevin has to be careful. And he may not even care at this point. Because if I was in his shoes, I might not care either. Because the Browns have a very nice severance package. Best in the NFL for former coaches. If you think the college plans are good, well, the Browns are pretty good themselves. But, spite and doing things just for the sake of doing things, because that's the hand you're dealt, usually gets you fired. People think that the record is what's going to get Kevin Stefanski fired. No, it's not. Because Jimmy Haslam said, leading into training camp, this was a 2 or 3 year process to find a quarterback.
Right.
He said that in training camp. Right? I'm not the least bit upset that they're 2-6. It's what I expected. How can I be angry they're 2-6 when I thought this is where they'd be anyway? I'm frustrated that how they got there. I'm frustrated at the product that they've put on the field. I'm frustrated at the quarterback who isn't qualified to be on the field is on the field. But yeah, I expect them to be 2-6. So I can't be angry at that. But what's going to get Kevin fired is not being 2-6.
Why don't you tell me what's going to get him fired then in a second? We'll come back in a minute. You'll explain to us what's going to get Kevin fired. Because it feels like the thought partners aren't thought partners right now. Your radio is not messed up. It's not midday. It's not YouTube right now. Ken and Anthony are both off. I think they're on undercover assignment. Is that true, Owen?
They're hanging out with Andrew Berry in the bunker right now.
Is that what they're doing?
I'll tell you off air what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Not very happy about it.
Ooh, all right.
Ooh, spicy.
Not only is there trouble in paradise, there is trouble at Playhouse Square as well. All right, Daryl Ruiter's in today. I'm Andy Baskin. Back after this. 216-474-0092.
Stars rise, legends are made, and one
insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/life.
From the Kissling, Nestico, and Reddick Traffic Center, call 1-800-HURT-NOW.
Free-flowing traffic this morning northbound on Route 8 from Graham to 271 and 90 east from West 117 to Euclid Avenue. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
You can listen to The Fan anytime, anywhere on the free Odyssey app or by telling your smart speaker to play 92.3 The Fan. And now you can find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. That's right, including the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Limer from 6 to 10 a.m. and Afternoon Drive with Nick Wilson and Jonathan Peterlin from 2 to 7 live each and every weekday on 92.3 The Fan YouTube's channel. Subscribe to our channel for free. Watch all the best content from your favorite shows on The Fan live and on demand now.
Ken and Anthony are off today. Andy Baskin, Daryl Ruiter in today. They'll be back tomorrow, right? They're back tomorrow. They're not. This isn't.
They are back tomorrow. They're back for the rest of the week.
Extended
they're never
vacation.
Allowed to leave
Okay.
again.
Well, now they're. Oh, was that segment that bad?
Look, 25 minutes. That's all I can do.
All I know
we'll
is
do it in chunks.
I listen to you guys talk all the time because I don't know if you know this or not, but the midday show and the night show, we're the only two. Yeah, we're not on YouTube, but you guys are. So I don't know, for some reason we're not allowed to be on YouTube.
You're talking to the man behind the wall, so it's good.
So but you guys are always talking about the comments on the side, and like I am absolutely blown away by the folks that are on.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
I did. Well, somebody said something nice. That's like the first time ever.
All right, Andy, I'm going to speak from experience here.
Yeah,
my extensive social media experience.
Yeah, I'm off.
Don't check the comments.
I'm out of there.
Don't check the mentions. Don't check the comments. But we appreciate them, so keep them coming.
All I know is that after our last brownie bites, I could be working for a burger joint. At this point, the people so mad at me because I said, hey, did they really take a look at that?
It was a catch.
It just looked like the ball was loose when it hit the ground. I just wanted to see one more replay. I don't think that I'm asking that much, and I'm not that crazy. That was from Sunday's
2025. We're still trying to figure out what a catch is in the National Football League. And by the way, I got to give you some props. I kind of feel like you're trying to get a wedding invitation. You keep dropping in the hi. I think you're totally trying to get a wedding invitation at this point.
Do you know how many people have walked up to me and said, "Can I be your plus one? Can I be your plus one?" I mean, it could be the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
What do you do for music at that wedding, by the way? It's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Like, what would you do for music at that wedding? Because you're not getting, it's Taylor Swift. You're not getting any better than Taylor Swift.
Bro, as somebody who's married, can I
Does she have to go out and sing her own wedding song?
Can we lay this out for her? Very easy. It doesn't matter what you think. Yeah. It's whatever she wants, and it's game over. Like, there is no conversation about this. Oh, what would you like for the wedding?
So they're just going to play Life of a Showgirl at the wedding, and that's just going to be it?
Whatever she wants, right?
I would at least think about the amount of musicians that will be there. See how many of them. You got to have a live band and see how many of them can go up and do their own. Do their own songs.
Oh, for sure that's happening, right?
Oh, I like that.
Or maybe do each other's songs.
Live karaoke. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, Owen.
That would be a fun. But do you know how fun that wedding's going to be?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
I may or may not be trying to mooch my way into being your plus one for it.
Trust me, you will not be my plus one.
If not, Daryl will get a couple beatboxes and go sit outside the venue.
By the way, I texted you over the weekend.
Yes.
I had my first beatbox. Glorious.
It's the way to go.
You did it, or you listened? What are you talking about?
Wait,
it's a drink.
What are you guys talking about?
This is the ultimate middle.
It's my preferred drink at Progressive Field.
Oh, all right. What is it?
It's an 11% drink.
Oh, that's it. It's just a drink.
It's like Gatorade with vodka.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, it's for somebody I just don't drink.
It's a lifestyle, really.
Yeah. Mine was the lemonade version. Yeah.
For me, it is.
Is it expensive or not expensive?
At Progressive Field, it is. Yes.
Everything's expensive.
At your local corner store.
Yeah, is Progressive Field? I didn't even think about it. Is it worse than Blossom? The drinks at Blossom are seriously like $30 for a mixed drink. Now they do give you a big cup, but I mean, how many bottles could you buy for that $30 drink at Blossom?
Well, it depends if you're on the top shelf or the bottom shelf.
That's true. I wish I won't even bring it up. All right, can we go back to this conversation that we had about Kevin Stefanski? And you were saying before we went to break, big cliffhanger. Dun, 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 how is Kevin out the door? What would be what needs to be aligned among the moons to say goodbye?
An alignment. If they're not,
him and Andrew are not on the same page.
If they're not on the same page, yeah. If there is a misalignment within the organization, that's, I think, will get Kevin fired more so than the record this season, because the Haslams have dealt with this since buying the team. When they blew everyone out, they blew out Pat Shurmur and Mike Holmgren. I'm not going to complain about blowing out Mike Holmgren. That was a smart move. That guy, just showed up to show himself riding on his Harley.
Did you see
playing around in the golf cart with the drink with the umbrella in it and all that kind of stuff? And then as soon as he knew the media was leaving, he'd hop on the Harley and leave. Basically robbed the Lerner family of $40 million. Yeah, not going to complain about them blowing out Mike Holmgren there, but
he had a nice golf cart. I will say that
he did. But here's the thing with the Haslams that people don't understand: the number one thing that led to that very volatile period within the first couple of years of their ownership, or the first half of their ownership, leading up to the Stefanski-Berry regime, which has gone 6 years now, has been the internal strife, the internal fighting, the finger pointing, the blaming. Okay, trying to ingratiate yourself with ownership while throwing everyone else under the bus because it's not your fault. That's what's led to people getting fired, more so than the product on the field and the win-loss record.
Internal drama. Is that where you're going with
this?
Okay.
And, because what you've not seen with Berry and Stefanski is we've not had the Sunday morning hit pieces, right? I mean, that became a tradition. Every pregame show turned into what did so-and-so write about what's going on in Cleveland, in their building and in their front office.
We should have just called that Mike Lombardi time is really what we should call it.
Well, yeah. But this even was after Lombardi was gone.
Right.
This continued up until Berry and Stefanski got here, and then you had two gentlemen that were conducting themselves like grown adults. Now, there have been some times where Kevin Stefanski's had opportunities to defend Andrew Berry. He's not taken those opportunities. He's just given very vanilla answers, most notably after the Joe Flacco trade. But also, too, Kevin does not say anything negative about Andrew, when he's asked, publicly.
He doesn't say anything negative about anybody. As a player, I'd want to play for him because even if you had the worst game in the history of football, he would be like, we got to be better.
Well,
That'd be the worst thing he would ever have to say.
I asked him yesterday about Dylan Gabriel, just, what is going on there? I mean, this is a guy that y'all loved in the draft. You loved the supercomputer. You loved the arm, the accuracy. We've seen none of it. So what's going on with that? And, Kevin made it sound like that this guy is a top NFL prospect just on the life journey. So, I respect that about Kevin, that he does not air the dirty laundry. He gets frustrated when players mention something as innocent of, hey, Kevin got us pumped up this week because he ripped us a new one, or, Kevin had us give each other compliments in team meetings because he's preaching complimentary football this week. He gets upset when players reveal that stuff. He doesn't like that.
He goes nuts. He doesn't like it at all.
And those are innocent comments.
Yeah, I shouldn't say he goes nuts. He doesn't go nuts over anything. I've never really seen it.
You understand what I'm saying? It agitates him because he doesn't want to make headlines himself. He doesn't want to be the headline. He doesn't want to be the story. And I like that. I respect that, because there's a lot of guys that would be in his position all about making themselves the story and the headline.
Hugh Jackson's here, baby. Was there any question if he was there or not? He let you know as soon as you walked in the door, correct?
I'm trying to forget that those 2.5 years actually happened.
All right, so as you kind of dive into the whole, could there be a rift in the front office? I mean, that's kind of where we're kind of alluding to here. But it's you cause some of that when you make a personnel decision, and the person that makes the personnel decision, or is ultimately responsible for it, doesn't stand out there and let people know exactly what they think. And when you get into that position, now all of a sudden you're saying to yourself, well, what are they hiding, or what's going on? Or why do you continue to throw Kevin Stefanski out there to answer questions about moves that he didn't make? Afternoon Drive talked a little bit about that yesterday.
We are halfway into this season with the bye week. This is a logical place for the GM of the team to speak. And a spot where he historically speaks means one of two things. He's either on his way out or he is ducking from responsibility and trying to lay this all on Kevin. I think it's the second thing. And if it is a historically embarrassing thing to be allowed to happen. For him to let Kevin Stefanski go out there 4 times a week and deal with the same questions, which have to be asked, by the way, it's not a media problem, is embarrassing. It's a dereliction of duty, and it's very much letting Kevin Stefanski twist out in the wind. That's crappy leadership on top of being bad at every other facet of your job.
Well, you put Stefanski in the firing squad, and he's done that so often throughout Stefanski's time here. That's what they do. I mean, Jimmy Haslam himself speaks, twice a season at most. He's not, and he had thoughts over the past weekend, and maybe this is where Andrew Berry doesn't want to put his thoughts out there because it feels like everything that Jimmy Haslam said over this past weekend has already kind of shifted, and you could easily see how he was just speaking to speak, and so maybe Andrew doesn't want that, but the idea that Stefanski just has to always take the blame, if I was Stefanski, I'd be livid about that.
So here's the thing. The Browns have the opportunity to control the narrative of what's going on, and they're choosing not to. That's really what this comes down to when it's all said and done, because the guys are right. Every time Kevin goes out there to have to talk about a transaction, about personnel, it's another moment where we're like, where's the guy that made the decision? I don't understand what's going on here.
You have to ask Andrew.
And Kevin has very politely said that.
He's been a pro's pro about
He's
it,
very big on.
You'd have to ask Andrew.
And he's right, and he's absolutely within his rights to respond in that fashion, because Kevin didn't make the Joe Flacco trade. Kevin didn't trade for Tyson Campbell and give up Greg Newsome, which, by the way, I actually like that trade. I do. I thought that was a good. I thought that was a good move in fairness to Andrew. But what is the harm in coming out and explaining to your fans what's going on right now? Because here's the thing: this isn't about me. Andrew Berry owes me nothing. He doesn't owe me a second of his time. Okay, This isn't about me. This is about having accountability for your fans, who, by the way, you're going to ask to pay thousands and in some cases tens of thousands of dollars to buy PSLs in your new barn dominium in Brook Park, okay? Where the existing building that's going to be turned into rubble here in a couple of years, and rightfully so, it's a dump. You've never hosted a playoff game in that place. It literally is, in the words of the great Mike Polk Jr., a factory of sadness. You have put hot garbage on the field now for 26, 27 years since this franchise has come back, with the occasional good season, but we're averaging one good season per 10 years here with this franchise. And every year you're doing things to quote unquote elevate the fan experience. In other words, if you're rich, we have more things you can spend money on. But you're not doing anything to improve the quality of the product on the field. And your fans deserve to know why. Your fans deserve to know when they're going to get a team that's going to be worth their time, their energy, and their passion. Because 1-31, the whole point of 1-31 and 4-44 was for this to be a perennial contender. And all you got out of all that grief and misery and pain was one playoff win. Okay? And that's not acceptable. I love using the Cowboys analogy from the 90s when Jerry Jones took that thing over and Troy Aikman, I think they went 1-15 Troy Aikman's rookie season. It was just a complete and utter mess. 3-4 years later, Troy Aikman's a Super Bowl champion. That's what a teardown rebuild is supposed to be about. And we see this with other teams around the NFL. And I'm tired of hearing about the sustained success that you're building. It's time to show it.
Let's come back. I want to talk about I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. I don't want to, it's drama or is that front office still on the same page? Because you brought something up a few moments ago, and then there's another angle to it that we really don't ever really talk about. I'm going to bring that up when we come back up next year in just a moment. So Ken and Anthony are off. Daryl, Andy Baskin, we're in today. 216-474-0092.
Fall is almost here.
that's where we are, but we're excited about the challenge in front of us. Guys will take a breath this week, but then you got 9 games coming up, 5 of them at our place. We're all in.
The Kevin Stefanski Show, Thursday night at 7.
Your home for Browns football, 92.3 The Fan.
Ken Carman Show. Ken is off. I'm Andy Baskin. He's Daryl Ruiter. You could be at 216-474-0092. All right, we continue our talk about the Browns front office. John Greco is going to join us a little later in the show. Former Browns running back Jamal White also a little bit later in the show, so we got all kinds of good stuff. Plus, we'll talk about the Cavaliers a little. It was a late night in Major League Baseball. What a game it was for the World Series. We'll talk about that. They went 18 innings. I mean, the game just ended, like 3 or 4 hours ago? It wasn't even that.
It's like at almost 3 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, like 3. Yeah, so 3:45, something like that.
Whatever that math is.
Shohei Ohtani hit 2 more home runs,
and he's throwing tonight.
Like, that dude is just ridiculous.
Yeah, Bieber's
I know they paid
tonight.
him $700 million. He's worth every penny.
Oh, they're just going to. They alluded last night in the postgame show that he is not going to see another at bat. He's going to be intentionally walked every time he goes up there. The only time you wouldn't intentionally walk him is at the end of the game to give him the game-winning run.
I don't
and
care.
Why they didn't do it last night is another one. I don't just put him on. All right, so we'll get to a little bit of that later and talk about that. So I brought up this point about, what does the front office look like? And so here's my question for you, Daryl, that let's just say it feels like things aren't going right in the front office right now. Let's say that maybe Kevin and Andrew aren't on the same page. Now, that happens all the time, right? So my next question is, bring in Paul DePodesta into the picture, because Paul was the guy that wanted Kevin in the first place, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted him. So now, if it's not harmonious between Andrew and Kevin, where does that leave Paul DePodesta? And then I ask you again about Paul and what Paul's been able to do for the franchise, and I'll give you the numbers. Since Paul got here in 2016, the Browns are 55, 98, and 1. They've lost 90. Well, they haven't won. I'll put it that way. They haven't won 99 games since he's been here. Does that make sense? No. The tie. So 55, 98, and 1. So all the opportunities they've had, his record, forget it. Just 55, 98, and 1. That's his record.
I was wondering where you're going with the 99.
Well, I'm just saying, if they don't win again, you're getting close to 100 games that they've gone into and didn't win.
Well, they are on pace to lose twice as many games as they have won since he's been here. Well, here's the thing with Paul.
Wait, you made that really simple. I could have just said it like that too. That's exactly what I was trying to say, but in a different way.
Sometimes I can.
Because 100 is kind of like this magical number. That's
right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. They're going to get to 100 losses very easily. Where would
that leave the front office if they're not getting along?
I'm going to pull a Charles Barkley here and say, I guarantee they will be at 100 losses with Paul DePodesta as the chief strategy officer by the end of the year. Here's the thing with Paul. He's not just football. Paul has his fingers in everything with the organization. And not just with the Browns, but just Haslam Sports Group as a whole.
Crew, Bucks, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So he has helped them out in a variety of areas, including the dome, financial. So there is a misperception out there that Paul DePodesta is hanging out in his cottage on the beach in San Diego, video chatting with Andrew Berry, telling Andrew Berry what to do.
Okay.
Or telling Kevin Stefanski what to do.
Okay.
That's not necessarily the full picture. DePodesta, as the chief strategy officer, is involved in a wide range of activities within Haslam Sports Group.
Can I cut right to, does he have any influence in personnel on the field?
He advises, but my understanding is he's not making decisions and he's not directing decisions. He's providing the information. He's providing the data. Here's what.
So the data said, hey, it's a really good idea. Let's bring in 2 veteran quarterbacks and let's draft 2 rookies to start this season. Is that a data-driven?
Well, I don't know that that's a Paul DePodesta thing. I think, Andrew Berry is the executive vice president of football operations and general manager. Now I need to take 3 deep breaths after having you say that.
You'd have to ask Andrew.
he's the one driving the bus on the personnel because that's his job. And clearly here's the thing. I don't think Andrew Berry consulted Kevin Stefanski on the Joe Flacco trade. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Kevin's never going to say that. I don't think Andrew will ever cop to that either.
Do you think Kevin liked the trade?
No. He was furious because go back to the week a couple days after, it was the Friday leading up. I forget what game it was, but Kevin said, in no world did I think Joe Flacco was getting traded this year. That was Kevin's way of saying, I'm pretty angry about this. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I thought was best for the team. Kevin really believed, even though Joe wasn't playing great, but I think part of the reason Joe wasn't playing great, no receivers, and the offense stinks. Because he goes to Cincinnati without knowing half the Bengals playbook, and he looks like he did with the Browns in 2023. And you know what? Maybe that was part of the problem. Maybe things got too complex for Joe Flacco because he didn't know the Browns playbook when he got here in 2023 either. And after throwing passes to his dad and his cousin and his brother and whoever else, his kids on high school fields while he was waiting for a phone call in mid-November from somebody. Maybe that was part of the problem. Is the playbook is a little too whatever. Intricate or whatever. But it also comes down to the wide receiver room that Andrew Berry gave him to work with. As I've said, Jerry Jeudy's a number 2 receiver at best. He's not a number 1. And that's not me dumping on Jerry, although it'd be nice if Jerry would catch the ball when it is thrown to him on a consistent basis. But 2 targets in a game does not cut it. Not for a guy you gave a contract. You got to throw the ball to him. You got to throw it more to Harold Fannin. Got to throw it more to David Njoku. You got to throw it to guys that'll catch the darn thing.
Yeah, but don't
Why
you
are
look
you
at the
throwing it to Isaiah Bond? I know I'm a broken record. I said this yesterday. It's frustrating to me.
I mean, he is a wide receiver, though, Daryl.
Isaiah Bond got hit in the side of the head with a football at the goal line. I am not interested in that guy at all.
You're wiping him off the face of the earth after one bad play. Yeah, that's one bad play.
It's happened twice. It's happened in 2 different games. It happened 2 weeks ago, and it happened this week, or 3 weeks ago.
Here's my inherent problem with the whole conversation.
He looks clueless out there when he's running the routes.
Yeah, but beyond Isaiah Bond, how many passes did they throw the other day? 2 were recepted by a wide receiver.
You mean caught by a receiver?
Recepted.
You mean received by?
No, receptacle. That's what they were. You put trash in the receptacle. They had 2 catches.
I have 3 hours and 7 more minutes of this.
They also targeted their top receiver.
I didn't realize I was working with Mensa over here. Okay, keep going.
They had 2 targets. Jerry Jeudy had 2 targets. He's their top wide receiver. Yeah. Isaiah Bond was their number 2 wide receiver in that game. He had 4 targets.
And neither one of them had a catch.
And neither one of them had a catch.
0 for 6.
That's the problem. The problem is...
Jamari Thrash had the only catches of the receiver core, too.
Yes.
Jamari Thrash.
In the receptacle.
Jamari Thrash. Let me repeat again.
I like
Jamari Thrash had 2 catches.
For the receptacle for you.
That's right.
It's for the receptacle.
That's right. Should your tight ends be your leading receivers every week?
Well, in this offense, probably.
Should your running backs be the next? All that says to me is you're not moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, because the only time your quarterback threw it more than 20 yards, it got picked. I mean... Details, Andy.
Myles Garrett. We'll talk about him next.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Without
the way that other quarterback gurus can. It's not in your DNA. It's not who you are. You stink at this. You need a quarterback that is much better than what you can coach, and you need a quarterback that can put you on their shoulders and take you with you. And that's not Dylan Gabriel.
At some point, it's just accepted as common knowledge. Kevin would rather lose his way than win anyway.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Ken and Anthony are off today. Owen's here, though. That's important. Mitch is here. That's important. I'm Andy Baskin. He's Daryl Ruiter. We are sitting in this morning, and we were talking, we're at the bye, so there are plenty of Browns things to talk about. I know there's a ton of stuff going on in the world of sports today. Big World Series game last night that was awesome. We'll get to that. Cavaliers, another win last night, and some other various things going on. So we'll get to that, as well as talking to John Greco and Jamal White a little bit later in the show. But I still, with Daryl here, it's hard not to want to tap into some of the big topics that are going on with the Browns.
There's stuff going on with the Browns?
Yeah, unfortunately, we just don't know what they think.
Even at 2-6?
Even at 2-6. Even at 2-6.
Hey, you know what? They've added 2. Let's stop being negative. They've added 2 wins to their victory total in the Paul DePodesta era. In the Brainiac era. In the Brainiac era of the Cleveland Browns, they've gone from 53 wins,
yes,
to 55.
Okay.
Granted, they've needed 8 games to get there, but just trying to be positive here.
But you just laid out this, if you were listening in the last hour, you just laid out this terrific thing about how he's so much more than football, and wins and losses are not really what his job is on this team. So now you totally flipped my mind on this, because I'm pointing the finger at Paul for a second, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe he's about the dome, he's about the crew, he's about the Milwaukee Bucks.
He's about everything. He's all over the place, but he's still feeding the info and the guardrails and the strategy and all that kind of stuff to both Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski.
So answer this question about the strategy then. Okay, you had a room full of 4 quarterbacks to start the season. I still can't believe we're still talking about this, but that just means...
Which, by the way, was a colossal waste of everybody's time.
Everybody's time. So, but you take away... If you knew you wanted to go to the rookies at some point, you took away...
Which Jimmy Haslam flat out said during...
we're going to see him.
Yeah, we will see both quarterbacks. We need to see both rookie quarterbacks this year.
So, I'm still... You took away a veteran who could help these guys, even if they weren't playing. When you talk about Kevin being upset that they traded Joe, or at least your perception is that, I can understand that. And, part of that is...
They have Bailey Zappi to lean on. What are you talking about?
You took away a veteran voice for those guys to get better.
As I said, they have Bailey Zappi they can lean on. What's the problem?
Do you really... Okay, so what's Bailey Zappi going to tell these guys? What's he going to tell them?
Owen, help me here. Baskin's sarcasm meter's non-existent this morning.
But tell me, what is he going to help them with?
I can't answer that. I can't answer
Nothing.
that
That's the point.
You'd have to ask Andrew.
There you go. That's what I need to know.
Andrew Baskin.
It's just mind-boggling. The whole thing is just mind-boggling. I just don't understand why they did what they did.
And they don't feel the need to explain themselves. That's the frustrating thing. Yeah. And I said this earlier in the show. Again, this isn't about me. Andrew Berry, the Browns, Kevin Stefanski, they owe me nothing. Okay? But I feel like they owe their fans an explanation to tell the fans what's going on. And I realize there's some things that they can't come out and say, but at the same time, when you trade Joe Flacco, who was struggling to throw for 200 yards in your offense, to the Cincinnati Bengals, of all teams. I probably could have lived with it a little better if you traded him, I don't know, to Tennessee or wherever, somewhere else outside the division, right? But you traded him within the division. That's the first trade you've ever done with the Bengals.
Yeah.
And the fax machines actually worked on both ends to execute that trade.
It was close the last time, though.
Deep cut. I like it. Baskin caught that one. I'm impressed. But
who is this guy today? Like, seriously, what is this?
Well, it's a little early for you.
Morning show Daryl.
Oh, I didn't realize.
He's on.
It's a little early for you.
I mean, I'm not going to start slamming you because if it was midday, it'd be all over. But I'm going to be nice and generous because we're sharing the airwaves with the guys that normally are here. So I'm going to be cool about it. I'm not walking down that road. Otherwise, I'd be dropping the gloves and we'd be throwing, and it wouldn't be good, and you'd be on the ground, and that'd be the end of the show.
I like where this is now going.
Keep going.
Physical altercation.
Keep going.
So let's do this. We're live on YouTube.
That's right. We're on YouTube.
I'd like to see it.
Okay, go ahead.
I guess you're Andrew Berry and I'm Kevin Stefanski in this
no, that's
scenario.
not true. I can see Andy Baskin right now, so he can't be Andrew Berry.
That's true.
I haven't seen Andrew Berry since.
Wow. Since training camp.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him come out to practice to watch practice.
That's good, Daryl. You're in the building. I'm not in the building. The dude needs to show up.
There
somewhere.
you go. You tell him. Tell him.
Seriously. I mean, if we're speaking for the fan right now, right? Where has he been? I haven't seen him. We didn't see him after the trade. After the Flacco trade, the only thing we got.
We didn't even get a statement like in the press release. No. We didn't even get a statement like, "Hey, we want to thank Joe for his contributions," and you know how they do that, right? I mean, they did
of course
the social media. By the way, a trend that definitely needs to end amongst teams is the thanks for everything posts on social media after you basically fired them, right? After you fired the players. Like, by the way, thanks for everything. We love you.
Or
you're
the generic
always family to us. Or like, stop. But no, he should be front and center.
Hang on. Prayers for Daryl Ruiter right now, please. Just prayers for Daryl Ruiter. Okay, keep going.
Why prayers for me?
Because that's another thing that whenever anything happens, no matter what, it's always prayers for.
Oh.
It's always the same. Well, even though when there should be prayers for some things, it's even sometimes you're like, what? Where are we going? Keep going. You just derailed me. Keep going.
You just derailed me. But no, he should be out in front to provide an explanation, number one, and number two, to take some heat off his head coach.
Agree.
Because, poor Kevin's having to sit there and just, take all the tough questions. And it's like, well, these are decisions he's not making. I had to ask Kevin yesterday about the trade deadline that's coming up. Well, because I can't ask the GM. You have to ask Kevin about trading Joe Flacco because, well, we couldn't ask the GM.
How much longer are we going to get? Or I shouldn't say how much because I already know the answer. But how much longer are we going to get Kevin seemingly sticking up for Andrew's lack of presence for the fans? Because it's got to. I thought it was going to boil over after Flacco. Maybe like Tyson Campbell. It seems to be a good trade so far with Tyson Campbell, but we haven't, not seeing Andrew and still hearing the company line, the thought partners line, and all of that from Kevin. You've got to think at some point that he won't be able to sit there and take the questioning about personnel decisions that it seems he has nothing to do with and has never had anything to do with. And a guy that's been a head coach of an organization for 6 years is probably the first one that's never gained more power, right? Usually if you're there for 6 years, you start accumulating a little more say in what happens.
If someone's there for 6 years in the NFL now, we're normally talking about them going to Canton, aren't we? That you've had stability for an organization, that you've had success for 6 years.
I mean, the only one right now that's probably in the NFL that's still doing it and doesn't have the Super Bowl trophy to show for it is Shanahan, right? And he's been in there for, LaFleur maybe there in Green Bay, but at least they're being competitive every season.
Wait, this is the gratuitous. We had him in the building. Why didn't we keep him? I just wanted to say that just
because we also
everybody
had
said that about
PowerPoint building.
By the way,
when you pay for your PowerPoint subscription, the guy goes, "I don't want to do this anymore."
No, the problem is it just keeps renewing, and you don't even know it. Next thing you look back at your credit card, you're like, "What?"
By the way, mad respect to Mike Vrabel for the subtle job at Kevin Stefanski and the Browns on Sunday after the game too.
The trick play answer,
After their gimmick plays ran out, we played some pretty good defense.
What was that all about?
Well, because that's all the Browns have to offer on offense.
Well, so here's the other part of this. So wait, hang on. Let me leave you this. The fact that Andrew's not talking and that we're defending Kevin for having to stick up. We're defending
the indefensible. That's what we're doing.
But we're sitting here defending Kevin because he's got to answer questions that he probably shouldn't have, is deflecting from the fact that they make a great play on 4th down and 1 and then decide to do a throw punt after that on the next play, which made absolutely no sense at all. Hey, let's throw into double coverage after we had this really risky fourth down play inside. And basically, they were in the red zone. They were already in their red zone. They decided to push the ball out 1 yard, which I thought was a good call on 4th and 1. Okay, let's keep the momentum going and continue. No, let's throw the ball 50 yards in the air so we can show that our rookie quarterback has an arm that will leave the ball up in the air that can bring down rain, and then we'll have him throw into double coverage so it could be intercepted. But no one's going to look at the play on replay anyway because I still don't think he caught the ball, but it doesn't matter. Keep going. Yes.
Yeah, he caught the ball.
It looked like it was loose.
He caught the ball, had control.
I know. And people are
made the football move and everything.
I'm a clown for even bringing that up. That's
yeah. Well, I'm going to be nice now. Here
comes nice Daryl Ruiter.
I know.
Okay.
You gave me some low-hanging fruit, and I'm going to leave it on the tree. The frustrating thing is when you're basically giving Kevin Stefanski no wide receivers to work with, the offensive line, the starting five was fine, but without building in the requisite depth required, knowing that both of your starting tackles are injury prone, right? They've had 8-9 different offensive line combinations this year, it feels like. They don't have a receiver that you can rely on. You have to rely on your tight ends and your running backs. And so it's at some point, Kevin Stefanski's just got to be ready to throw his hands up in the air. He did it last year
right
with Ken Dorsey. I'm wondering when Kevin gets to the Popeye moment where he just throws his hands up in the air and says, yeah, I'm done with this.
You know who else could be doing that? Myles Garrett, 216-474-0092. Ken and Anthony are off. It's Baskin and Ruiter.
Tune in to
and he doesn't want that. So I think all those things are real, all the emotions are real, but I like what he said yesterday after the game, how, obviously he would have traded the sacks for a win, but he also said, I got to talk to these guys, I got to make sure nobody quits, I got to lead us, and I think he's really trying to do that. I just wonder when the frustration will really get to him, because we saw that at the end of last year, it did, and that's how the trade request started. I think he's in a better position to handle that, but if they keep losing, who knows?
That was Scott Petrak yesterday on the midday show. I think it's called Baskin and Phelps. Jeff Phelps and Andy Baskin have that show for you. They have you covered most days. Oh, by the way, I'm Andy Baskin. I'm filling in today.
You've only called me Jeff once this morning.
I did call you Jeff? I didn't realize that.
You've done that once.
I never do that when we do Brownie
And then
Bites.
you got a J in there on the very first one.
Yeah.
And caught yourself, which is
You did.
good.
It's a
It was a kick saving
Of course I have it. How long have you had that show? Way
14,
too long?
14 years?
Yeah.
What do you mean way too long? What
Not
is
in
that
a bad
supposed-
way. I'm just saying,
okay.
Yeah, you guys have been doing it forever. I can completely understand how you would call him Jeff.
Oh, what's weird is
It's muscle memory.
I call Jeff my son's name every once in a while. That's what's scary.
You call him Blake?
Yeah, I do. Every once in a while I do. It's and the other hard part is like even Browns Radio Network, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I don't want to say Browns. I want to go Baskin and Phelps 92, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, I gotta stop. Yeah, stop.
Well, see, that's where you do the old cue cards for you.
I don't. Some of us don't need cue cards. Some of us remember these things and call each other Jeff when their name is Daryl. Daryl. You guys are nuts. So there are a couple other things I wanted to get to with the Browns. And if you're Myles Garrett, right, and you walk in, by the way, I want to make everybody up to speed. I know every once in a while people are like, oh, why don't you talk about the baseball game last night? We're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll do that with about last night. Cavaliers last night, nice win for them as well. We'll get to all that stuff. John Greco is going to join us at 8 o'clock. Jamal White, both former Browns are going to join us. Browns running back Jamal White, who still lives here in Cleveland, which is loves living here too.
We've also, Andy, got Foo Fighters tickets at 8.
Oh.
And at 9, we got Cavs tickets for Halloween night.
You guys get all the good stuff. Are you dressing up for Halloween by any chance?
Yeah.
What do you know?
I'm coming as a producer who cares.
Dude, that is the best line I've ever heard. I've ever heard.
Well, I went to a Halloween party Friday night. It's where I had my beatbox.
Please tell me you dressed as a scarecrow.
Congratulations on all your success.
No, yes. I went as Clark Kent. The modern Clark Kent. The James Gunn Clark Kent.
I couldn't think of a more fitting costume for you, Daryl.
Yeah.
Than Clark Kent.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go as Fat Batman. That'll be my next one.
Fat Batman?
Oh, yeah. Ben Affleck, right? Ben Affleck was like Fat Batman.
I'm not going to lie. The shirt that I bought, the Superman logo shirt that I bought.
Yeah. The new one or the old?
The new one.
Because he's James Gunn.
I'm the James Gunn Clark Kent. So, yes, I wore the new logo. It really did feel like a medium, though. It was a little tight.
Would you borrow that from Keith or no?
No, but not going to lie.
Keith is the man of schmedium.
I kind of felt like
I'm just jealous.
A chubby version of Clark Kent. Little thick in the midsection.
Totally could dress as Scarecrow, and you would kill it.
No. I've been working on them, trying to, like the rest of me's thin, but like all the weight is like landing in one area.
Oh, you must be in a relationship then. That's why it's the only time you gain weight, right?
Reckless speculation.
Best way to lose weight, fall in love, right?
Yeah.
That's why I weigh 10,000 pounds. That's what love will do for you.
That's why I fluctuate every 7 to 10 years.
Oh my God, you're on fire.
Owen's on a heater this morning. Ken and Anthony leave, and
personality changes a little.
All right, if you're Myles Garrett and you walk into Berea yesterday morning, are you walking to Andrew Berry's office and saying, "Get me the you-know-what out of here"?
Well,
figure out a way to rip up my contract. I'll give you back all the money. I'll do anything I can. Get me out of here. I still want to know what they said to him, that he knew the plan that was going on that was so great. If there was something outside of money, right? If there was something outside of money that got him to stay this year, I'll be shocked. Because, by the way, I mean, is there a chance maybe they could figure out a way to do something with his contract and by November 4th, Myles Garrett could turn into 2, maybe 3 first-round. I don't know if it's 3 first-round picks.
You'd probably get 2 for him.
I would think so, too.
Although, with the way he's going right now, I would totally be greedy and ask for 3.
Oh, why wouldn't you? Maybe 2 firsts and 2 thirds, 2 seconds. A second.
He went into the weekend with 5 sacks. He left the weekend with 10. Here's the shame of it, and we'll get into your scenario.
Okay.
We'll get into
because my question is, if you're Myles, did you walk in yesterday and go, "Get me out of here"? I'm done.
He put together an all-time historic performance, and the Browns weren't even competitive on the scoreboard. Like this reminds me of so many Browns teams, and there have been many of them, that have been awful to watch over the years, where you have one really great player, and on those teams it was either Phil Dawson or Josh Cribbs or Joe Hayden.
Ryan Pomperion.
Ryan Pomperion. Hey, Butch Davis he did draft a Pro Bowler. He's got that going for him.
Of course he did. Yes.
It was Ryan Pomperion. That's usually the joke. It was a long snapper.
You have to explain it. You probably didn't need
I know, but that could be a deep cut for some folks because a lot of people try and forget those years ever happened.
Keep going.
A lot of years in the expansion time that we try and forget actually happened. But that's the shame of it, is that Myles put together an all-time historic effort and the team just wasn't competitive. I would have spiked my helmet and sat at the end of the bench all by myself as well. But that's where my sympathy with Myles ends. This is what you saw when you walked around Super Bowl Media Row and looked into every television camera and spoke into every microphone that you could find to tell the world, channeling your inner Logan Roy from Succession, they are not serious people. They're not serious about winning. It's not a serious franchise. It's not a serious organization. And I've had enough. I am not wasting my career the way Joe Thomas did and so many others that have come before me within that franchise. I'm not doing it. And then a month and a half or about a month later, you go ahead and you agree to a $40 million per year contract extension. And everything's right with the world. You're on board with the plans that they laid out for you.
Oh, they told me what's going on. I know what the plan is.
Yeah, because, nothing makes me more excited to stay with a losing organization than when they tell me, we're going to bring back Joe Flacco, we're going to sign Kenny Pickett, and we're going to draft 2 rookie quarterbacks.
Maybe he thought bringing Flacco back was a good idea.
Well, wasn't it the team podcast that Andrew Siciliano does for them, in which Garrett said, I know what the plan is, and he had that sly grin on his face, and we all got excited.
Yeah.
Because, Myles knows what's up. He signed for 40.
Something good's going on here.
Something good's about to happen, right? We all got excited about it. And then we got Kenny Pickett first. Then we got Flacco, and then we got the draft. And I can't imagine that that's what got Myles excited to stay. It was the fact that...
Any chance he's traded? Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just like...
I don't see it. And here's why. His dead cap figure right now is $97 million. He has a Deshaun Watson contract right now.
Right.
From a salary cap perspective.
Okay.
In that it's an untradeable contract.
I know this is a crazy question. Somebody brought this up to me yesterday. Could Myles walk in there and say, let's rip up the contract, start again, and trade me? Can we rip up the contract? If Myles said, I don't want this cash, I don't want that money, I just want out of here, because he would recoup the money on the other side.
No, you don't.
He would. He'd recoup the cash somewhere. You don't think so?
I don't know.
Maybe the cash doesn't mean that much to him then.
Because here's part of my hypothesis of why he stayed. It wasn't the quarterback plan. It was the $40 million that the Browns were willing to pay him, and the fact that maybe the agent found out that there wasn't $40 million a year available for him elsewhere. Because this is what the Browns do, Andy. This is the Browns' philosophy. Their answer to every problem is to just set tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on fire, right? Got a problem with the city of Cleveland with the dome to get them to, give them $100 million. That'll shut them up. We can't get Deshaun Watson to want to come to Cleveland. Well, we'll fully guarantee $230 million. Okay, problem solved. Myles Garrett wants the hell out of here. Spent all week bashing us at the Super Bowl. Oh, well, let's go ahead and give him $40 million a year. That'll shut him up and make him happy.
Sounds like a good idea to me. You want to shut me up? Just give me some cash.
But that's the Browns' philosophy. That is their answer to everything, is just to throw money at the problem. Think about this. The Browns are going to spend about $1 billion in payroll over 3 seasons, and they have nothing to really to show for it. Think about that. It was over $300 million last year. It's over $300 million this year. I think it was close to $300 million the year before. Almost $1 billion in payroll over 3 years. They have nothing to show for it. They spend, and look, I love owners that are willing to spend money and invest in their product. Okay, but sometimes it's not about how much you spend, it's how smartly you spend it. And I just feel like that their answer to just throw money at every single problem, it's not solving your problems. I think
you said there wouldn't be $40 million out there for him from someone else. I don't believe that. I agree with you that I don't think that
because
he can be traded.
The reason is because he's about to turn 30.
He also signed that in March?
Yes.
Since then, the contract landscape has changed. And now you have Micah Parsons and TJ Watt who went out and done that as well. Like, that's changed. That's where we're at now.
Micah's younger, though.
Okay, and I just watched Myles Garrett get 5 sacks in a game.
I understand that, but football...
He's got 10 sacks on this.
Are you going to tell me there isn't a team that doesn't want to...
Defensive Player of the Year, top 3 again.
He should win it this year again.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at the way that the defensive backs are not doing what, Surtain's hurt, and those guys are now kind of taking themselves out of it. I'm just saying, I agree with you on he's not tradable in the current state because of the way the dead cap hits, but to say that there's not people out there that wouldn't give him the same amount, I think they'd give him more. I think he'd be touching 50 now. Micah got 46 or 47.
But I'm saying in March when this was all going on,
right?
It wasn't there. But now
in October, and the wheels are falling off.
Right. But yeah, I don't know what the NFLPA.
There's no way he didn't walk in there yesterday and go, "I want out of here." I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't want to. If he didn't actually do it, he had to have been.
Do you think Deshaun Watson wants to be here?
No, I don't.
Well, why didn't he go in and say, "Tear up my contract so I can leave"? Because nobody's going to pay him.
Yeah, but there's a difference between Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett.
That's a wanted commodity and an unwanted commodity.
I just don't. Would you like this rusted out 1972 Pinto, or would you like a Ferrari?
I think there are 31 other teams that would trade for Myles Garrett, and I think if you went, well, you've also got to take Deshaun, you'd have 0 teams.
Correct.
Be in that sweepstakes too.
100%. It's a deal killer, Andy.
Talk about the ultimate question.
I'm not even.
You can have Myles Garrett, but you have to take Deshaun.
I'm not even talking about money wise.
Would you do that?
Take the money out of it. I'm talking about the person or the football player.
I think the biggest mistake the Browns made was extending Myles. I think that was a massive mistake on their end. And I understand why they did it, because you don't want to be the organization trades a future Hall of Famer. I get that. But from a team building perspective,
could be in the same class as Baker.
How competitive are you with Myles right now?
How competitive is the team? They're 2-6.
Right. And you have a future Hall of Famer that's doing record-breaking things, and you're non-competitive. That's why it was a bad decision for them to extend Myles. They should have traded him. They should have said, yeah, okay, fine, we'll move you. No problem. We'll make it happen. But I just, to your scenario, Andy, I just can't imagine a world where the NFLPA or the league would sign off on that size of a contract being torn up just so a player can be traded to skirt salary cap rules. I don't see it happening. Because that's what you're doing. That's the only reason to tear up that contract or agree to tear up the contract or agree to give back all the whatever is so that you can skirt the salary cap ramifications.
It's funny. You see that from that's the Browns' perspective, right?
No, I'm talking from an NFL perspective. Because the NFL, believe it, NFLPA and NFL has to approve contracts. There's no way they would approve that because you're skirting the salary cap rules by doing something like that. It's a $97 million cap hit if you trade Myles Garrett.
All right, so what does it mean to have a miserable Myles Garrett then in your locker room if he's miserable? He's a captain. He's a leader, right? They made him a leader. What does that mean? If you've got a disgruntled leader, there's no way he can't be disgruntled. We watched it. Did you see the pictures all over Instagram? Here's Miles sitting by himself. Here's the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And Mary Kay asked 100 times yesterday about slamming his helmet.
Yeah, I didn't need to even look at the picture of him sitting on the bench by himself. I just watched the 5-second video that Fox put out of him spiking his helmet.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I needed to see.
About last night, that's next, was last night's World Series game among the all-time best. That's something we will talk about in About Last Night. It's NBA Tip-Off Week, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to the fourth quarter comebacks. It's all right there for you. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect
sports talk in the CLE. 92.3 The Fan.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
It's embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write it off. We could go 82-0, no one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him, how he couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
We will get to the World Series Classic here in just a few moments, but first, we had the Cavs game last night in Detroit. A dominating outing for the Cavs, 116-95 over JB Bickerstaff and the Pistons. Kenny Atkinson talking after the game, talking about needing to lean on the defense.
I do feel right now that we got to lean into our defense until we get DG back and Max back, and we lean into our defense more. And offense, we're going to have to live with some lineups that aren't perfect, but lean into better defensive lineups.
Solid defensive outing for the Cavs. They also had some spread out scoring throughout the night. All 5 starters in double figures. Donovan Mitchell with 35 points.
Look, I think it's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster early in the season for the Cavs as they, and it's a good thing that they just kind of figure out some rotations, figure out some combinations as far as lineups go. But look, I mean, they're still off to a good start. They're playing good basketball. And I like the fact that Kenny's pointing out some of the, I don't want to say negatives, but maybe areas where he wants to see them take next steps. But if they're going to compete for and win an NBA championship, where do they have to be strongest? It's on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, and it's not even about the NBA championships now. I mean, it's about that Emirates Cup that starts on Friday night. I mean, really, that's what the NBA should all be about. They should focus on that ridiculous cup that they're going to play for so one team can have 83 games at the end of the season. Uncle.
I can't wait to see what the floor looks like this year.
It looks the same. You can go back.
Oh, it's the same floor?
Yeah, it's the same as what they used last year, the Goofy Cup.
I get the concept they're going for. They're trying to go for that playground type of a thing. Yeah. But there are just some teams in the NBA that have very bad colors. The Cavs are not one of them. Love the wine and gold.
Yeah.
But there are teams in the NBA that have just some really awful color schemes for their floors. But I don't even care about the cup.
Who does? The players do, because there's a little extra cash if you win it, but that's about it.
If the Cavs win it, do you care?
No.
If they win, I'll care. Let me ask you this. I know who did. Who won last year?
Lakers. They hung a banner, too.
Darwin Ham, 2-time Cup winner. Cup-winning coach.
See, I thought the Bucks won last year. That's how bad it is.
That was the year prior, yeah.
Oh, it was the year before? I thought it was Milwaukee.
That was the first year, and then the Lakers the second year.
Oh, wow. Okay. The great history of the Cup is...
I just know that the Lakers won the Cup last year and then fell apart down the stretch and did not make the playoffs. So congratulations.
Much like the Cup, this portion of this segment has runneth over.
Yes, thank you.
Speaking of which, real championships. The World Series last night, Game 3 out in Los Angeles, an all-timer here. This was in the bottom of the 18th inning, my friends.
11:50 in Los Angeles. Furman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes me. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
Audio courtesy of Fox. I literally woke up to this ending of the game at 2:50 a.m. Eastern.
Milwaukee won the Cup last year, boys. Sorry about that.
I got the switch.
Both of you guys, thank you. Let's get some clarity. I mean, if we don't have ethics on this show to make sure we give out facts, what are we doing? Going back to World Series last night.
Yes.
Oh, it was fantastic. Fantastic.
But where does that rank among the all-time games that you have watched in the World Series? This is the second time, by the way, in our lives we've had a Game 3, 18 innings in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium.
Does it count as a game you have watched if it happened at 2:50 a.m.?
That's true. I wonder what the ratings were here in Cleveland. 0. There were maybe. How many people do you think in Northeast Ohio watched last night's game at 3:00 in the morning?
For me, the greatest World Series game of all time is Joe Carter's walk-off to win it.
Yeah.
For the Toronto Blue Jays. You hit a walk-off home run to win the World Series. That's really hard to top. Now, I get it. 18th inning, walk-off home run. Dodgers haven't won the World Series yet. They're going to, but they haven't won it yet.
I mean, they're going to... Game 4 is in what?
Couple
12
hours?
12 hours and change. And the Blue Jays they burned through all their bullpen. They're taking on Ohtani on the mound tonight, and they're probably going to walk him every time or pitch around him every time tonight.
Bieber warmed up last night to go in.
Yamamoto pitched 2 days ago and he warmed up, which is crazy. 100 pitches.
You know what that reminds me of? I know not the World Series, but reminds me of Tony Pena in '95 in the ALDS. It was like 2 a.m. when he hit the walk-off homer in, I think it was the 13th or 14th inning.
Rain delay.
I'm just saying, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it reminds me.
Now I'm depressed. Thank you. Davis, that's what we're talking about.
I'm going to make one of you guys happy, and unfortunately, it's not you, Andy. It's Owen, because I'm going to talk about the Chiefs-Commanders game from last night.
I'm down with the Chiefs.
That whole game.
You stayed up for that one. The Chiefs-Commanders last night. This is
Meredith, by the way, very unhappy this morning.
One of the highlights here in the game. Sorry, Meredith, I'm about to play this.
Here comes a four-man rush. He looks left. Now flush from the pocket. Line drive. End zone. Caught. Touchdown. A two-handed helmet. I grab Kelce. A yard deep in the end zone. And that is his 80th of his career. His Hall of Fame career.
Kelce tying the franchise record with that touchdown catch. And you had a bit of a happiness here too, Daryl, regarding this game.
Oh, yes.
Why did the Saints play?
No. We're trying to forget that the Saints play professional football anymore. Similarly to the Browns. No, I have officially swept afternoon drive in fantasy football.
Oh, congratulations.
Not only have I swept them all, I destroyed them. I obliterated Mac by like 95 points. I beat Peterlin last night by 18-ish, and I beat Nick Wilson comfortably as well. So not only did I win, but it was just complete clean sweep annihilation of afternoon drive.
Congratulations on all your success.
That's great. Is there anything worse than hearing somebody brag about fantasy football? I don't know if it gets any worse than that.
Well, I got so much grief when I drafted my team from them. I do feel like I need to take a little victory lap when I crush them.
Who are some of the standouts from not just last night, but the whole weekend in the NFL for you? Like in terms of total points, I mean, Mahomes had to be high for you.
Let's do our favorite segment where I tell you about my fantasy football team as I roll my eyes.
God.
Mahomes had to have been the top one. Kelce and Kareem Hunt.
Mahomes actually made me sweat a little. Bijan Robinson had a terrible game this week,
and he's usually a good fantasy guy.
He usually Harold Fannin Jr. By the way, Cleveland Brown drafted him. He was huge for me.
Andy, didn't you think you got away from this with Jeff?
I can't stand. Do you know the name of my fantasy team?
What's that?
Apathy by week 2.
You know the name of mine?
No.
Who cares?
That's what I say. Who cares? Hey, if I get you a Heights alumni T-shirt, will you go to Canton with me when Travis goes in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
You'll go?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
cool. I'll get you one.
That's
wait. You don't want me to go either?
No, he's in, man. I respect people that love their team and show their colors and are not scared to back off on it, right? And he is the ultimate Chiefs fan, so I give him tons of credit for that. I'm just being honest.
They've made it very easy.
Yeah, I get it.
I'll say that.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're a real hard team to root for these days with all those Super Bowls they keep going to.
And I'll continue to tell everyone who wants to call me a bandwagon or a front runner.
You're not.
Look up Jovan Belcher.
Yeah.
Get back to me.
I got that is it for about last night.
Wow.
Wasn't Joe Montana a former Kansas City Chief?
He was 93 and 94.
Coming up next, we'll talk to a guy that started his career on 92.3 The Fan here on the midday show and then all of a sudden got poached to the morning show. He is John Greco. I love you. I'm just kidding. He is next.
I personally don't look at Dylan and say, like, yeah, he's going to be someone's starter, over a long period of time. But, he does strike me as, guys, as somebody who's going to play for a lot of years in the league. Yeah, but right now, I think on a game-to-game basis, it gives you an opportunity to be confident out there. I think you got to give him a chance to grow and see where he can take it with the group that he's in there with.
Listen for the MMQB's Albert Breer, Tuesdays at 5:20 on Cleveland's Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
92.3 The Fan is looking for a winner. Be the ninth caller right now at 216-474-0092 to win a pair of tickets to see the Foo Fighters with Queens of the Stone Age August 10th at Huntington Bank Field. Tickets are on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. It's all from Live Nation and Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
If you're just rolling out of bed, your radio is not messed up. It's not the midday show. Ken and Anthony are off today. Daryl Ruiter is in. I'm Andy Baskin. Jeff will be in coming up at 10 o'clock here. Unless you overslept and you want to think it's midday, then knock yourself out. All right, let's bring in a guest. Let's talk a little bit of Browns. He is all about Ohio. Sometimes he lives outside or lives in central Ohio, played for the Browns, born in Youngstown, went to Toledo. What else could he have done? He is the second most famous Cleveland Brown from Boardman of all time, and he is a friend. He is on the fan hotline, and he is John Greco. Hey, what's up, John? How are you?
Hey, Andy, good morning. What's up, Daryl?
Good to talk to you again. How you doing? How's life?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. Yeah, bye week. It's amazing. Halloween in a couple days.
Means we're not losing, right?
Yeah, Halloween in a couple days. So, family's excited about that. And finally, I'm happy that the big guy weather is here, and it looks like here to stay. Shorts and long sleeve shirts for the rest of the year.
Daryl, I don't know if John is a hell of a cook. He is like Master Chef. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and I'll tell you this, John, I'm an excellent taste tester.
Perfect. Yeah, maybe in the off season or later in the year we'll have to have a little tailgate or something.
Will you do anything special for Halloween? Will you cook up something like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think. You're not going to give away cooked food to little kids that are coming through the neighborhood, but I mean, what's the food that's inside the house for the family?
We have these like silicone skull molds, and I do like skeleton pizza pocket type things.
Oh, that's outstanding,
dude! Yeah. So those are a lot of fun. They love those, and like goofy shaped ghost waffles and different things like that for the kiddos.
Do you know how bad you make all the rest of us look? Guys that hate to cook.
I want to know what he's wearing for Halloween. And by
what do you mean?
And by the way, former Browns offensive lineman costume is not permitted.
No, I'm not dressing up this year. Typically, I'm a costume guy, but this year I don't want to use this as a cop out. But we've been so busy, and it just kind of boom, it's here. And
I'm hearing excuses, John.
Yeah, it's just a big excuse bundle. I'll just cut it short. I'm not dressing up this year.
All right, give me the big picture on the Browns right now as we head into the bye week. 2-6. The quarterback carousel is ridiculous. You probably have a coach in most situations that would be sitting on a seat that's on fire, and you have a front office that isn't answering questions for trades that they've made. Give me your perspective of the franchise right now.
Yeah, I thought that I'll start with the most recent one. I thought it was kind of interesting that Andrew Berry was not available for media when traditionally that this is the time over the bye that you really get a chance for the media to ask him the tough hitting questions and the honest questions and get a snapshot of what they're thinking and where they're at. And maybe the fans and us, we wouldn't get the answers we're looking for, and they would kind of just smooth over everything, but at least be available for something. So I was a little bit surprised about that. We just kind of continue to see Kevin Stefanski out there just kind of saying the same things, over and over. And look, that's his job. He's going to do that and try to keep everything in house. But yeah, I guess I'm always optimistic. Before the season, I thought that they could have gotten up to 7 wins, and I said that everything would have to go right, and they'd have to get some breaks, and things would have to go their way. But they're playing defensively. They're sure as hell playing like a team that can win 7 games, if not more. And offensively, it's still been kind of a symphony of errors, and everyone. When Joe Flacco was in there, and obviously now he's no longer in the building, Turnovers were a problem. Sacks were a problem. Injuries were a problem, in particular up front. So they make a trade, and Dylan Gabriel comes in. And by the way, when Joe Flacco was in there, they couldn't throw the ball downfield. His average completion, I think, was right around 5 yards. Excuse me. So something was up. And was it a bunch of different excuses? Yeah, sure. Jack Conklin wasn't in there. You had your third and fourth and fifth string tackles in there. Joe Flacco was under a lot of pressure. Were people getting open? Were people dropping the ball? Was he throwing the ball all over the place? There was a lot that went into what the record was in his tenure and some of the interceptions. So Dylan Gabriel comes in. Everybody's excited. A lot of people knew that he's probably a high floor, low ceiling guy. And I'm not going to sit here and just bash the guy, but it's looked the same and oftentimes worse, and he's made some rookie mistakes. But I think that the Browns want to see and give him a fair shake at developing, in particular with the guys that he has around him. Is the receiver room a room that can elevate a team, and when things are in doubt, hey, just chuck it up and somebody's going to go up and make a play? I don't think. And, you have a guy like Harold Fannin Jr. who's out there making plays and catching balls and scoring, and Dave Njoku, when he's been healthy, he's been, solid. But, Dylan Gabriel, same thing. I think he's under 5 yards average completion. So there's a consistency there. So it's hard for me to say, hey, the quarterback is going to change everything. And I know everybody in the world may be ready to move on to Shedeur Sanders, wants to see him. I'm certainly in the camp where I want that young man to get an opportunity, and I want him to do very well, as I want Dylan Gabriel to do well. But I just don't know if a quarterback on this roster right now has the skill set to elevate everything and make it look that much better. And, are we just going to start closing our eyes and throwing up, Hail Marys? And Dylan Gabriel tried that on Sunday and threw an interception. And, there's two guys, it seems like, covering our deep options every time the ball's up in the air. So something's going on offensively, guys, and everybody's got a finger to point at different areas when I think it's just a collective problem offensively. It's play calling, it's protection, it's route running, it's catching the ball, it's sustaining blocks, it's making accurate throws, it's having a time clock going off in your head and thinking, I got to get rid of the ball right now. So it's bad and it's ugly all around.
Bigger indictment with Joe Flacco's success with the Bengals. I know they lost to the Jets, but it wasn't because of Joe. In 3 games, he's thrown for 784 yards, plenty of deep balls, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. Is that a bigger indictment on what Andrew Berry gave Kevin Stefanski to work with, or is that on what Kevin Stefanski's trying to do offensively? The fact that Joe can look like he is at the end of the line with the Browns, he goes to Cincinnati, doesn't know any of their plays, and he's now lighting it up.
Yeah, Daryl, a great question. I think it's a little bit of both. When you go over to the Bengals offense, obviously everybody knows T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And if I'm Joe Flacco, I get in that building, I get off the plane, or I'm sure he drove, whatever. I'm going right up to those two guys and saying, hey, look, I have the general concepts and understanding, obviously, of what the terminology is here. But, look, you're getting the rock, and you better be ready. And those guys are probably like, can't wait. And he was a breath of fresh air in their locker room because of, a lot of the turnovers that they were experiencing after Joe Burrow went down. So, yeah, it sucks to watch that. And he's, spinning it all over the field and able to complete balls down the field. Now, obviously, we don't have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and some of their playmakers on this team. That's no secret. But it just seems like they have something designed. There's people open. Joe Flacco it looks like a different level of confidence, and I'm sure it's because of who he's throwing to, but it just looks different. And, yeah, that's an indictment on the two guys you just named. And why couldn't we manufacture some of that? And I'm not naive. We don't have those two playmakers. I can't reiterate that enough. But still, if you send Dylan Gabriel over there, does it look the same? Is he throwing the ball magically down the field more now? And is you have average completions longer than 4.8 or 4.9 yards or whatever it is? Probably. I don't have a crystal ball, but there's just a lot going on here offensively, guys, that I just think it's unfair to blame one single person. You mentioned Andrew Berry, you mentioned Kevin Stefanski and the guys in the offensive play caller rooms. What's going on? Why are we not being given better answers as to why we can't complete a ball downfield?
Well, this week we're not getting any answers, so we have that going for us, which is nice. I want to ask you about Kevin, though, and how he keeps this thing together. Miles slamming the helmet, understandably so, sitting at the end of the bench because he's so despondent despite giving everything he had, record-setting performance, and the team's not competitive. We've had Jerry Jeudy express some frustration in recent weeks. Dylan Gabriel has had a few comments that he's made about receivers turning 5-yard passes into explosive plays and things like that. My point, John, is it feels like there's some cracks in the foundation right now within the locker room. How does Kevin Stefanski keep this thing together with the fuse apparently already lit?
Yeah, Daryl, I don't know if he's going to be able, and things are starting to fracture, but look at what they look like when everything was buttoned up and tight and he had the support. It hasn't been great. And we talked about before the Miami game, what Tua was saying, how he was upset that guys weren't showing up to player-only meetings and this and that. And I've been a part of those, and they suck because you're having them because you're at a bad point of the season. So I guess to answer your question, Coach Stefanski's got to rely on the leaders in the locker room. And when you see a Hall of Fame guy, showing frustration on the field to the media, I'm sure he's talking behind the scenes to players and the captains. But it's tough, and he's got a point. Miles does. I mean, if you were hibernating and you woke up and checked the box score and you saw that Myles Garrett had 5 sacks and 1 forced fumble and other tackles and different things and disruptive plays, and you said that and the Browns lost and they got killed, they got beat 32-13. You'd be pretty surprised, I would assume.
Yeah.
So that sucks. It just feels like it's another kind of wasted year of his prime, to where it's like he's doing all these having all these individual achievements, and it's kind of all for naught. And it just shows you that one person can't win games, especially defensively. And it helps to have an explosive pass rusher and a Hall of Fame talent, but you have to have the supporting cast, and they just flat out don't right now.
John, in your opinion, how long does it take for a rookie quarterback to get used to being in the NFL? I mean, you played with enough of them, and you played with enough veterans, and for the offensive line to get used to a rookie quarterback in a daily situation, what is generally the learning curve there for a rookie quarterback?
I don't want to use this as a cop-out, but I think everyone's different. And Dylan Gabriel played 1 million college games. He's obviously prepared and a smart guy, and I think that goes back to the high floor type player, because he just seems like he knows where to throw it and when to throw it. Now, is it always accurate? No. Is he missed throws? I get it, but it just seems like he's mentally ready. But I'm starting to see, and you've seen this over the course of the last few weeks, that he's afraid to make mistakes. And again, I don't watch the end zone copy, so I can't in the zoomed out copy, the all 22, where I can see what's going on with the route combinations. But it sure as hell looks on TV when they show replays. You'll have crossing routes, you'll have dig routes, you'll have whatever, any kind of route tree that you want to talk about. And there's sometimes, the receivers are blanketed. So is he forcing the ball in there and getting tips and turnovers or throwing it to other guys? I don't know if he's unsure about that and not wanting to make a mistake. But it just seems like his time clock and protection has been better. I'll say that. So it's not like he's under duress in 1.5 seconds like Joe Flacco was a lot of the times in the start of the year. So something's going on, a time clock's going on in his head where he's just like, check down, 6 yards. And I think the most frustrating thing is that, if and when Shedeur gets an opportunity, it's not like there's going to be anyone that's going to come as a savior. Now, maybe they change the playbook and the receivers can get open a little bit better and magically catch the football better. Time will tell. But it is what it is, and the offensive roster is what it is right now. And, Dylan's got to play with the guys that are in the room, and offensively, offensive line-wise, they have to block for whoever's back there. But as far as learning curve, guys, I think it's varies. And Dylan Gabriel seems to me like he's mentally ready, but a lot of the things right now, I don't want to say are happening too fast, but you could tell that he's playing where he doesn't want to make a mistake, and he's just trying to do the easy thing and check the ball down and just take the simple completion and hope, to your point, a guy breaks a tackle and makes an explosive play. But it's hard to win like that when you're just hitting chip shots the whole game.
Yeah, the safety really felt that way. John, last question for you. What will you be handing out? What candy on Halloween? I'm predicting. Hang on, I'm going to write this down real quick.
Well, obviously, full-size candy bars, because I'm a classy guy.
Full-size Snickers. That's what I wrote down. I thought that's what your answer would be. Okay.
Yeah, full-size candy bars, just because I'm classy. But I'm also frugal. So my kids are going trick-or-treating, and then our neighborhood trick-or-treat is the following week, which is a whole different story. And
oh, man. This sounds like an association meeting, John. I'm not going to that.
It's horrible. So we're just going to repurpose some of the candy that my kids are getting.
Wow. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, John, we got to roll. Thank you. Appreciate you. Always enjoy our conversations.
Guys, happy bye week.
Thanks, man. Happy bye week to you, John Greco on the Fan Hotline. Wow. There was a story that came out about Myles Garrett that I want to talk about when we come back. Another one that kind of broke a little bit this morning, so we'll do that. Ken and Anthony are off. Daryl, me, Andy Baskin. We're back after this.
Stars rise, legends are made.
huddle with a winning team.
There is a crash 71 north at Bagley, blocking the left lane. Traffic's light eastbound on 480 from 252 to Warrensville Center. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
The Browns head into the bye week and all eyes are on Berea. Will changes be made soon? When will Shedeur Sanders get his shot? Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Sports Talk on 92.3 The Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
John, last question for you. What will you be handing out? What candy on Halloween?
Well, obviously full-size candy bars because I'm a classy guy, but I'm also frugal. So my kids are going trick-or-treating, and then our neighborhood trick-or-treat is the following week, which is a whole different story. And
oh, man, this sounds like an association meeting, John. I'm not going to that.
It's horrible. So we're just going to repurpose some of the candy that my kids are getting.
Wow.
That might, you know what?
Ken and Anthony are off today. Daryl, Andy, go.
Great conversation with John, but I have to say that might be the most revealing comment from him from that entire conversation. The fact he is going to recycle/repurpose Halloween candy. Also, by the way, extremely intelligent.
Oh, man. I've never heard of that, though, before, but it makes sense.
You've never done that before?
Repurposing candy?
I do it, too. We always have the backup just in case more kids show up, or there's always that point in the evening where we've done full size since I bought my house 5 years ago, so this would be the 6th.
Oh, congratulations
Halloween.
on all your
We've
success.
always done the full size there, right? Because we're right by an elementary school, so of course you've got to throw out the full size candy bars. But we have the homecoming parade is usually a month before, and we've got this bag full of candy that my wrestlers can't always eat around the house, right? So to help me not have them, eating 3 extra Walmart sacks full of candy, we repurpose that stuff.
Really?
No, see, you should keep the full-size candy bars and just give away the small stuff.
No, we have to have discipline in our house.
Okay.
It can't be chaos.
How many disciples do you have, by the way?
What's that?
How many disciples do you have in the house?
We got 6 right now. Well, 4 right now.
Wow. And how many of them are trick-or-treat age?
Now, 1, 2.
2? All right.
I mean, I have a 16-year-old boy, so he still considers himself.
He'll go out.
A trick-or-treat. Yeah, I don't think he'll go out as much as he even told me, he goes, I don't know if me and my friends are going to go out that much. But then I have a 13-year-old boy.
Of course they will.
And a 12-year-old boy.
Oh,
just
they're
turned
out.
12. Yeah,
they're out.
And they have, and that's the good part. This, even last year, kind of became the take the reins off a little bit, let them go do their thing. I will stay at home with the bonfire, and
that's my favorite thing to do, man.
Yeah,
sit outside, bonfire, maybe a little.
Scare the kids as they're coming up to get the candy.
Hot apple cider with a little kick.
Toddy,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like the perfect Halloween drink, right?
Yeah.
And you're hanging outside. You're good with that? All right.
I had some cider with a kick over the weekend.
I got to tell you this really quick. So I ran into Tim Richards in the hallway afterwards, and I was telling him what Greco said. And I was like,
excuse me?
I was like, wow, man, what a deal. So he's like, oh, I repurpose every once in a while too, especially Tootsie Rolls. And I'm like, as long as you don't repurpose the vanilla ones. And he looked at me like vanilla Tootsie Rolls were a pox on the face of the earth. Like they were the worst candy in the history of candy. I love
They aren't the worst, but they're not.
I love flavored Tootsie Rolls.
Out of the flavored Tootsie Rolls, they're on the bottom for me.
Vanilla?
Yeah.
Like the orange one, I don't really like very much.
Andy.
The lemon one.
Go ahead and power rank those Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls? Oh, number 1, vanilla. Number 2, chocolate, which I eat almost every day when I walk out the door because they're like 5 cents downstairs, so I grab a couple of them other ones. I'm trying to think of the other flavor. The lime one. No, that's the lime is the bottom, orange, and then
like
the green
a raspberry one or something. There's like a reddish.
All right, raspberry be in the middle. I've now power ranked my Tootsie Rolls. Is that good enough?
Yeah, you did it.
Last time you did this to me, I was totally thrown, and I was like, That's first time.
That's the point of the power rank.
I'm just glad that he power ranked the Tootsie Rolls and did not try and do the Tootsie Roll. That's a 90s song joke for you, Baskin.
Oh, you're really going there with me?
Yes,
I know Tootsie Roll, dude. I know more about music than you do. I'm not even going to play this game. Can we power rank dancing?
Here we go. Power rank 90s dances.
Go ahead. Go, Daryl. Go.
Well, I'd probably have to go Tootsie Roll number 1. Ice Ice Baby, when that came out,
that's
unfortunately,
not 90. Is that?
Yeah, yes, it is.
Early 90s.
That's early 90s. Yes, it is. That main middle school dance was Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah,
you weren't, you know. And then I'm
going to throw Macarena in there too.
I was going to say I have to. Not for me, but I was going to say number 3 would be the Macarena. As annoying as it is, they still do it today.
Electric Slide. I thought you'd go there. I thought you'd do the waltz. I thought that might be another one for you.
We don't go to the Greenbrier anymore.
Oh, yeah. That's true. We don't.
That's where they waltz.
Oh, no wonder they're having a bad season. They didn't go to the Greenbrier. What were we thinking?
That's it, Baskin.
That's where the brain trust was able to get together. That's where the thought partners were able to use telekinesis to figure out how to have a great season or how to have a bad season.
You know what? Maybe that's where Andrew Berry is right now. He's hanging out at the bunker at the Greenbrier.
You brought this up a little bit earlier. Albert Breer on Monday Morning Quarterback Pod, who, by the way, is going to be on the afternoon show. We talked about Myles Garrett. Listen to this.
By the time you get to the point where you're competing for a championship again, what's Myles Garrett going to have left is my question. He turns 30 in December. I don't know that the timelines match up. And so then the question becomes, are you better off just trading him now? And maybe you get 2 first-round picks for him. And now all of a sudden, you're going to have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years, like an insane haul. If you're Detroit or Buffalo, would you trade for him right now?
I mean, yeah, all across the board, right?
And then you take this rookie class that's been pretty good outside of the quarterbacks because we don't know about one, and one has been underwhelming for his first couple starts here.
Yeah.
And now you've got all of these first-round picks. Not that I know that Browns fans are like, who trusts Andrew Berry with a first-round pick? Although he did miss 3 of them because of the trade.
Yeah, but it's not just an Andrew Berry problem. It's any Browns GM. You can't trust any Browns GM with a first-round pick.
So I'm not going to lie. As you sit here at 2-6, if they had the opportunity to trade him for 2 first-round picks, Myles, thank you for your service.
I just don't know how they can execute the trade.
It's the logistics that you're worried about.
Yeah, by the way, Albert Breer will be on with Afternoon Drive 5:20 this afternoon, and I anticipate that will be a question that Albert's going to get asked. Okay, let's say the Browns are able to or do decide to trade Myles Garrett, or Myles Garrett asks to be traded. How on earth do you pull it off with a $97 million salary cap hit on the books this year?
Well, if you pick up these first-round picks, take the hit, and just be bad again next year.
You have to have $97 million in salary cap room, and I'm pretty sure the Browns don't have that.
I have it.
If you're paying nothing but rookies, you're going to end up there somehow, right? Because
not with Deshaun's contract.
You keep bringing up the money, and it's a very valid thing to look at.
It's not the cash money that I'm talking about.
But what I want to know about
Wait a minute. Isn't there some unclaimed funds that they can use to pay off this
debt? No, that's a different slush fund.
Oh, sorry. I forgot that. Okay.
And I already got my $140 check back from that, so I don't
see. That's it. If you want your money, go get your money. And by the way, if the Haslam's have to pay that money back anyway, don't they?
Money, they're going to go get it.
So is there really no tax on this?
I mean,
there will be when it's all said and done. But okay. Keep
so, Daryl, money aside, would you do the deal right now?
Yes. And I said earlier in the show, biggest mistake they made was re-signing him to begin with. They should have traded him back then.
Is he chastising you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I could see not doing it then because I think you already looked at last year's draft and go, that was considered a down draft, and apparently we've gotten the best players out of the draft, right? Between Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger and Harold Fannin and all that. Those are guys that are sticking out in the rookie, not so much the rookie award stuff, but at least when you look around the league as rookies, and maybe that's because the scope of Cleveland, we're all on that. But they did a good job with what they had. I don't know that the well was that much deeper to go get more first-round picks last year. As, the futures, the more you can kick that can down the road to have those first-round picks, 5 in the next 2 or 3 years would be really nice to have.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
Especially when you're trying to build a team to get ready for the opening of the Barn Dominium, because that's where the focus is going to be.
Look, if Myles is so mad and so upset, I mean, you just don't, especially with young guys in the locker room, you don't need it.
Right. And like I said, I don't care about the cash aspect. It's not my money. I am all for spending Jimmy Haslam's money, okay? For me, it's just the realistic aspect of this, right? It's I feel like every day I open my X and I start looking at some of the Browns discourse and people are talking about trading Deshaun Watson. And it just got to a point in recent days where I just had to post, listen, guys, you can't. It's an untradeable contract. And like right now, Owen, I don't disagree with you. I would trade him in a heartbeat right now, not because I don't love Miles, I do, but he's doing Hall of Fame things and your team isn't even competitive. And I don't know that you're going to be competitive anytime soon as you put Humpty Dumpty back together and you try to escape the hell that is Deshaun Watson's contract and the cap ramifications you're still dealing with there. I just don't think mechanically you can trade Miles because of the contract extension with his cap figure being what is like. In my head, I can't compute that right now. So I'm hoping when Albert's on with the afternoon guys, and I'm not here to tell those guys how to do their show, but I would anticipate that would be one of those questions. Not so much would you trade him, but hey, let's say the Browns wanted to entertain that. How on earth do they pull that off considering this massive new contract extension he just signed? And oh yeah, they're still sucking wind and underwater with Deshaun's contract. I think it's 3 more cap years to go with Deshaun, so I just think it's too tough to do.
Yeah, but post June 1st of next year is the first time that it's really feasible, right?
Well, no, I want to say 2027 post June 1st is when they're going to want to do it. Yeah, I think they kicked it down the road one more year, so it'll be a post June 1, 2027, so that 2028 is the last cap charge for him.
Let me throw this out because I know we got a couple more minutes here. Is there anybody else they could go out there and grab another first-round pick? I mean, is Denzel a first-round pick at this point? If you tried to trade Denzel right now, would you get a first-rounder?
Yeah, he's playing at a all-pro.
Yeah, I know. I'm just wondering, like, okay, beyond the first-round plus.
Here's my thing, though.
And by the way, is there anybody else you would trade that you think you could bring back?
Well, what got behind my question to Kevin Stefanski yesterday when I did the whole, I'm asking you because Andrew ain't here.
But on the record, I do not want to trade either one of those guys.
Right, but
personally,
I don't know that the Browns need draft picks. I think they need players. That's why I like the Greg Newsome trade. You got a player that's under team control till 2028. You went 1-for-1 basically, corner for corner. Tyson's played well. It's unfortunate he got banged up on Sunday, but he's played extremely well since getting here, and he's a key piece. You weren't going to keep Greg Newsome. Like, that was the ultimate win-win trade. As much as I love Greg and miss him and his celebrations when passes are thrown 20 yards over his head, that was a really good trade by Andrew Berry, and those are the type of trades that I'm hoping as we approach the trade deadline, Berry's able to pull off.
The neutral zone. That's what's next, right here. Of course, Ken and Anthony aren't here. It's Baskin and Ruiter.
All right, since now it really is fall, that means that what?
Or True North stores and True Rewards. Fast, friendly, clean.
An accident 71 north at Bagley has the left lane blocked with heavy congestion from Royalton. Slowdowns eastbound on 480 from 252 to 71. This is Joe Checkeye for 92.3 The Fan.
Whenever you need to talk college football, we've got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. It's time for the Neutral Zone with Rat Boy and the Hog. Crank it up and rip off the knob.
All right, well, Rat Boy and the Hog are not here, but we'll still do the Neutral Zone with Andy and Daryl here as we go through Week 8 of the National Football League season.
Which one of us is the Hog, by the way, just to clarify?
I am not going to comment on that.
I got to tell you, I got to stop looking at social media. I'm so like, why do I do this to myself in the middle of a show?
I keep telling you, stop looking at the comments.
And social media reactions brought to you by Shivan Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Andy, stop looking at it.
Well, I'm just wondering if I should respond to this or not. Like, I want to go back into the social media and reply on that platform, but I'd rather destroy him on the air. But if you think I haven't met Travis Kelce, you're an idiot, and his dad is a regular on our show. Thank you. Keep going. All right, thank you.
But you know who didn't listen to the doubters and haters this week, unlike you, Andy? Justin Fields, who pulled off a 39-38 win for the Jets, their first of the year against the Bengals in Cincinnati. Tough loss for the Bengals, but a great one for Fields, who talked about his emotional week.
It's been a lot for me, emotionally, spiritually. I'm gonna get pretty vulnerable right here, but this week I found myself in my closet crying. Not because of the hardships, not because of the troubles. I felt like I was built to handle that, and I was put in place to handle this situation. But in that moment when I was talking to my best friend, how hard it was, and not wavering faith-wise.
Now remember, he was not supposed to be the starter this week. Tyrod Taylor got injured. The Tyrod Taylor curse strikes again. I mean, this is a huge, huge victory for Fields to possibly get a starting job again.
Well, and also, too, Woody Johnson at the owners' meetings was basically, well, yeah, it'd help if we can complete a pass. So
that didn't help.
I respect players that are willing to share more than they're probably comfortable sharing. And look, the reality is not a lot of nice things have been said about him and his quarterback play or his ability to play quarterback. So I respect a lot what he had to say, and that was a hell of a collapse by that Bengals defense.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy for Justin that they were able to win this week. I kind of wanted Cincinnati to win, just kind of like, I don't know. I back and forth.
You were rooting for Joe Flacco.
I was rooting for Joe, but I was happy for Justin. It didn't matter when it was all said and done. I just think there are, and no one wants to talk about this because now we're going to sound like NPR if I bring it up, but the mental health issues that some of these professional athletes are extremely severe, especially when you put the man in the middle and you put 100,000 people around them and they're cheering for him, and then when things don't go right, I mean, the high of the high is equal to the low of the low, and I think sometimes we just don't think about that.
I think it's the social media aspect of it, too. All these guys have social media profiles. They have family. They have friends that see all the things that are said, and fans do get carried away with some of the things they post. And I think that, to your point, Andy, I think that the social media aspect of it and the fact that it's in such a public forum, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. I think that adds to the mental health challenges of athletes today.
I also think from a fan perspective, and I'm one too, that sometimes we just don't think as fans, and we think that just because we pay for a ticket or watch them on TV that we can say whatever we want. But the fact of the matter is a lot of people that are complaining are complaining about athletes that are 100 times greater than any athlete they ever were or they ever played with. They're professionals, and they've gotten to the highest level. Sorry if I'm ripping fans a little on that, but I'm not ripping all fans. There's a small percentage that just drive me insane, that drive me nuts.
Speaking of social media, the Ravens side of it softened up this week with their win over the Chicago Bears. Snoop Huntley got a victory. However, the Ravens may be getting a bit of a boost this week ahead of their Thursday night matchup against Miami. This is John Harbaugh.
I feel very confident. Feel very confident about it, and would expect him to be out there Thursday night.
He's talking about one Lamar Jackson who could play.
Oh, is he going to get the injury report right this week?
I don't know if he will.
Too soon.
The Ravens got themselves back on the right track this week. I mean, saving their season with a win this week. Can they build momentum into a potential winning streak?
I don't see how if they get Lamar back, they're going to be dangerous because they did what the Browns needed to do last week. There was an opportunity to make some hay in the AFC North, and the Ravens did it while everyone else faltered.
No disrespect to your question, but I don't care. about their season being saved. Sorry.
I get it.
I
see this from the Browns' perspective that the Browns blew a golden opportunity this weekend.
Now going also into another AFC team that's doing well all season, the Indianapolis Colts got another victory over the Tennessee Titans, 7-1 on the year, an NFL best. And this is Andrew Catalon on CBS talking about the kind of inspiration the Colts have been riding on this year.
The presence and impact that Jim Irsay's passing has had on this organization and this team, you can feel it when you come here. They are playing for Jim, and everything has come together for this Colts team through 8 weeks of the season.
Audio courtesy of CBS. Before you react to that, on TV they were showing Carly Irsay-Gordon diligently taking notes throughout the whole thing. Like the presence is here for the Colts.
Not just taking notes. She's taking notes on the sideline with an earpiece. Like, you want to talk about the queen of micromanaging, but hey, it's working. So keep doing it. They're 7-1.
Can it last
right now? Aren't we all a little more buttoned up when the boss is in the room?
Yeah. Well, do we really want Jimmy Haslam going down to the Browns sideline with an earpiece taking notes?
We touched on that last week. Like, would it make sense for a guy like him?
D. Haslam should do it. I'm nominating D. Haslam.
Sounds like a challenge.
No, I'm no challenge. I'm just nominating. You know,
it would look weird though if like Jerry Jones or Jimmy Haslam went down there with a headset, had like a.
Oh no, Jerry's done it before.
He has.
Yeah, he's always on the Cowboys
sideline. On the sideline, but he's never had like a Denny's menu play sheet before.
Well, he's got the. It's all up here in the mind.
Not sure if it's still the case at 82 years old. Finally,
have we seen Tom Brady on headsets lately?
Yeah, in the broadcast booth.
No, I mean, since we saw him. Have you seen him do it again?
Well, maybe they're just not showing him on television anymore doing that.
Well, the Raiders haven't had an opportunity to be featured on anything nationally because they suck at football.
Until they play the Browns in a few weeks.
Might get a Kenny Pickett rematch. Finally, Cam Scatterbo, very tough break here in the Fox broadcast of the Giants-Eagles game.
Really a brutal scene here in Philadelphia as Cam Scatterbo gets a standing ovation going off. His teammates coming up to dap him up, and an injury we're not going to show you. It's not pretty. It just stinks. This kid has brought so much life and great play to the Giants.
That injury, a dislocated right ankle for Scatterbo there. A very tough break for him. One of the standout rookies so far this season.
Yeah, and it's the worst part of sports is guys getting hurt. Football, it really is a sport where they put their bodies on the line each and every play of every week of a season. It's my least favorite thing because the NFL season really is a war of attrition when you're talking about contenders, pretenders, and whatever. Really is. How healthy can you be come, playoff time? But Scatterbo was just having such a great year, and to see it end that way, seeing the reaction from his teammates, it's just heartbreaking. And I want to sincerely thank the network for not showing the replay.
Oh, I saw it enough on my social media that I didn't need the network to re-show it or not. But did you think it was a hip drop tackle? Did you see the tackle that many times? Because I saw it way too many times.
I know. Here's the thing. I struggle with what a hip drop tackle really is.
So your hips are up and then you drop them.
No, I understand the premise, but when I'm watching it live, I don't even know how the officials can officiate that, and I think that's why it's smart.
I agree with you there. I mean, it's
we'll
a transfer of body weight, right?
Yeah, we're going to find out this week if there's a fine. If he gets fined for it, then we're going to know. I think that's a smart way to do it. Asking officials to officiate that in real time, I think it's tough. I like the fact that the league goes ahead and reviews it and then issues the fines after the fact.
Brian Daboll looked sick to his stomach when all that was going on.
I don't know how you couldn't.
And I don't even know if it was the
gross.
injury. I think it was the there goes, not even that the season's over or whatever, but the spark that both Scatterbo and Jackson Dart have provided to the fan base that's, one of the most loud fan bases in the NFL.
Yeah.
At least, and gave them, they got behind Tommy DeVito, so.
It just sucks the life out of your season.
Yeah, it does, of course.
And that loss already dropped into 2-6 on the season. That's it for the Neutral Zone with Not Rat Boy and Not the Hog.
Oh, that's all you have for us.
I guess I'm the Rat Boy.
Congratulations.
I said Not Rat Boy.
I know, I'm just saying, though, I think I guess I'm the Rat Boy and Andy's the Hog, though.
I'm not touching this thing with a 10-foot pole, dude. Thank you very much, Mitch. Excellent job. And by the way, we should have a debate. The Script I hat that you're wearing, the former Indians hat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
That was one of my. I had a pullover. It says I like the Script I. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. But you, ripping vanilla Tootsie Rolls.
Hard pass on the Script I.
It's funny because when I think of social trends, I think of you. When it comes to fashion and all those things, you can get all this kind of fun on Brownie Bites too on the YouTube channel. Immediately following each and every game. All right, let's come back here in a second. Jamal White, former Browns running back, is going to break down what we're seeing from the Browns offense. That is next. Ken and Anthony are off. It is Daryl Ruiter and Eddie Baskin.
This is Boomer. Game 4. Week 8 in the NFL concluded last night with the Chiefs taking down the Commanders 28-7 in Monday Night Football. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Meredith Payne.
Don't trust anybody with your Cavs coverage unless they have sports in their name. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
92.3 The Fan is looking for a winner. Enter the code word COAST, C-O-A-S-T, at 923thefan.com before 10 a.m. for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Cleveland Cavaliers as they take on the Toronto Raptors this Friday, October 31st, Halloween, at 7:30 p.m. at Rocket Arena. Tickets available at Cavs.com. It's all from your Cleveland Cavaliers and Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Ken and Anthony are off this morning. He is Daryl Ruiter. I am Andy Baskin. We're talking about the Browns a lot this morning. We're also going to get into the Cavaliers coming up in less than 20 minutes. And we'll talk a little baseball here, too, with the World Series. I want to go to the hotline now. We bring in the 26th all-time leading rusher for the Cleveland Browns with 349 carries, over 1,300 yards, and 9 touchdowns. He is the amazing Jamal White. Hello, Jamal.
What's good, my man? Listen, you got to stop that, man.
Stop what?
You have to.
Stop what? Stop what?
Every time I get on here, you're bringing up the 26 thing. First to start off at 25. If I ain't number one, don't do it, man.
Wow. See, Daryl, what I say before we went into the break.
Jamal, I'm going to throw Andy under the bus here.
You can't. I don't care.
This was 100% premeditated. It was planned out. I don't know. I don't know about the quality of the execution there, but yeah, I'm sorry he threw you under the bus like that.
I said I was going to poke the bear. I do have a question though about your own stats. You had 2 fumbles. Did you recover either of those?
Yeah, well, one I lost, but I think I lost that one out of bounds. The other one wasn't even my fumble. That was somebody else's. I think that was Tim's or Kelly's because they just stuck it on me. I don't think that was mine though.
So you think you had 0 fumbles in 1,324 carries for the Browns?
No, legitimately, I had 1 fumble.
Oh, sorry, 1,324 yards. Sorry, 349 carries.
Yeah, I only have 1 fumble that I will consider mine. But ownership is big, so that one I will consider. But the other one, nah, not mine.
Speaking of fumbles, the 2025 Cleveland Browns are 2-6 heading into the bye week here. Jamal, just where do you think that the Browns are right now overall, and just how do they make this less painful for people to watch?
Man, you know what? That's a great question, man. I don't even know because I don't know if you hear a lot of stuff about the coaches, you hear about the players and all that stuff. To me, I know you guys heard me say it before. It's on the coaches to a certain extent, but the players, man, when you don't have wide receivers that you can throw balls up to and they could go get it, becomes a problem, and it stresses out your running game because when you watch the games, when you have a running back that does produce, they're just going to stack. They're just going to stack the box. And if they stack the box, you already know what it's going to be. So it's hard, man. It's just hard. Like the professional part of it all, I understand. The fan part sometimes is kind of hard for fans to understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
What's your assessment just so far of Quinshon Judkins, though? What we've seen in limited time?
I like him, man. I mean, he's decisive of what he wants to do. He runs hard. What I will give him some advice on that I got from Ricky Dudley was you got to pick your battles, man. You got to pick them. You can't take them all on because sometimes, you're taught, you want to be tough, don't step out of bounds. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's a situation and there's 6-on-1, man, that's a business choice. You wanna kind of make it to the next play and still be able to play, man. So and not be out of commission for a little while. But I like him as a running back, man. I like all 3 of the running backs, man.
All right, the elephant in the room, Dylan Gabriel. Another less than spectacular performance from him. That's now 4 starts. I realize it's a short runway, but doesn't appear to be much on that runway. If you were Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry right now, what would you do with the quarterback situation coming out of the bye?
I think they're doing the right thing, man, because here's the deal. When you come out of college, quarterback is the hardest position in the NFL to actually learn because you got to know everything that's going on the field. And him being a rookie, it's not the same as being in college or being in high school or anything like that. You're putting a lot on him, but he also needs some help. You know what I mean? And then if you're going to try and rotate and play this carousel of, I'm going to move him out of here and put him in mentally, that's a mental distraction. That's just what it is. And they drafted him for a purpose. I don't agree with a lot of the things that people say, like give Shedeur this, do this for Shedeur. He's in the same situation because here's the deal. You put him in a game and there's no production. Then what? Who you going to go to next? You're just going to keep trying to rotate these quarterbacks, and then it's back to we need a quarterback. We need this. We need that. No, go with the guy that you want, and then if it comes down to the back end of the season and you know for a fact you have no chance of doing anything, now let's just try and get Shedeur some reps too. You know what I mean? So I think that they're doing the right thing, even though people probably won't agree with me. But it's hard for a quarterback coming out of college just to jump in the game and get busy. Now, I will say there are quarterbacks that do that, but it depends on the system that they're in. It depends on what they have around them. There's just a lot of different variables that go into football. It's the ultimate team sport, man.
During the broadcast, Mark Schlereth referred to the Browns receivers, and this is what he said, not me. This is a quote. He referred to the Browns receiver corps as a bunch of little dudes. I'm not gonna. I laugh too, Jamal. But as somebody who's been in film rooms with coaches in breakdown, what are you seeing from this receiver corps? To your point about, hey, it's not all about Dylan. Kevin tells us every week, it's not just about Dylan. It's about everyone. Everyone's got to do their 111, et cetera, et cetera. But what are you seeing when you watch the Browns as somebody who knows how NFL film is actually broken down? What are you seeing from this receiver corps? Only 2 catches in 9 targets for them last week in New England.
Well, you got to be able to go get it, man. That's just the reality of it. I don't care what kind of receiver you are. You could be tall, you could be small, you could be whatever. You got to be able to go get it. And also, there's things that we're not seeing. A lot of people see the TV version of football, but you don't see. It's different being at the game and watching a route from the start to the end. You don't even know if they're running the right routes. You don't know if they're running the routes at the correct depth. You don't know if they're making mistakes. You don't know any of that stuff that's going on. I think for receivers, man, I think people look at Metcalf. You look at Metcalf, the dude is humongous, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is he's always covered. But you got to throw him the ball. You have to. I mean, it's just a reality for it. And so for our receivers, from what I see when I'm just watching, them on TV, I'm not talking about being at the game, because when you're at the game, you'll see more. Or when you're in a video room, or when you're in a session watching game tape, you'll see more. What I see on TV is they ain't going to get the ball. They don't go get it, and maybe some of their routes are not right, but you just got to be a go-getter. When you're a receiver, you can't say, oh, man, I was wide open. Dude, half the time you're covered. You just got to go be a go-getter.
Jamal, let me ask you this, because we watched Myles Garrett get extremely upset on Sunday, and I don't know if it was – I'm sure there were a lot of factors into it. Probably one of the factors is they took him out at the end of the game, too, and took away a chance for him maybe to get a 6th sack in that game. But what happens when a leader, one of the guys that's making the most money on the team, a guy who's a captain, shows frustration? How does that play in an NFL locker room? And you played, I'm sure. Did Peyton Manning ever have frustration when you were playing with him?
Yeah, he was frustrated at me a lot. I got him hit a couple of times. So, yeah, he got frustrated. But
what did he say to you? When he was mad at you, what would he say?
I wouldn't say nothing, man. What you mean, what would I say? I mean nothing. And this is what I say. I'm sorry. Okay. That's what I would say. That's me, though, man. But, dude, like, honestly, Tim's been frustrated when he's been in there. Kelly, dude, I'm going to tell you, Holcomb, man, competitor to the end. So he get frustrated, and he'll let you know right in the huddle what it is. Right when you come out there, he's telling you exactly what it is, what he expects. But you got to look at Myles Garrett's situation, too. He was told something probably during the off season that made him stay here. You know what I mean? Because
they gave him $40 million a year.
Well, yeah, that too. That could do it to you. But let's just be real. The dude is going to go into the Hall of Fame, right? No matter if he got 5 sacks this year, no matter how many sacks he gets, his name recognition alone will put him in a Pro Bowl. The dude has, in his mind, or maybe, I don't know if the Browns will ever go to the Super Bowl. He wants a chance to compete on a team that's to be a contender. You know what I mean? To go to a Super Bowl. He already got everything else. At some point, how much money, depending on his goals. If he wants to be on a Super Bowl team, I think personally, because I'm never going to dog the Browns. I'm never going to do it to the end to where people get upset. I think at the beginning of every year, each team has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Every year. I believe that. I think his frustration could be a lot of different things, not just the point that they're just losing. He was probably told certain things in order for him to remain here in Cleveland. And now, he may feel that frustration. Obviously, losing is horrible, but there's other things that could go into somebody like that, him banging his helmet and all that stuff. So I feel for a dude like that that's been in the league for a while. He's made a whole bunch of accomplishments, and, he's been on teams that's good, and he's been on this team that has been good in years, but then they're bad in some years as well. So, yeah, he's going to be frustrated. And in the locker room, you see a leader frustrated. Depending on how he's handling that frustration, is he going to these other players and saying, hey, look, man, we got to do this on offense, or is the coach is letting him get up? I've been in film rooms where the leaders of the team will get up and address the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things kind of turn around sometimes. And I've also been in situations where the leaders get upset and not say nothing. It just depends on what type of leader he is.
Jamal, I'm glad you went there because that's exactly what I wanted to touch on. Because we talk so much in what we do about leadership, and you need leadership, and it starts from the top and filters on down, and that's where success comes from, is from leadership. So as a former player, explain to us, what is leadership in an NFL locker room, and does it always have to come from your best player? Because, I've always argued, as great of a player as Myles Garrett is, I don't think he's a natural-born leader. I just think he's a great player, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what is leadership in an NFL locker room? What does that look like?
Me personally, I was a captain for the Browns when I was there, and the players pick the leaders based off of what they see and what they do. You know what I mean? So we look at Myles Garrett. Let's look at Myles Garrett, for instance. Myles Garrett is a leader by example. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about just the on-the-field stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that's off the field as well. You know what I mean? Are you going out on Tuesdays, getting in the community? Are you bringing the younger dudes under your wing and kind of showing them the ropes? There's so many different distractions for people that's playing football out in the NFL. There's so many different distractions. For me, honestly, one of our leaders here that I had was Roman Oben, man. That dude took me under his wing. He was like, Jamal, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. And some things that he would do, he was like, you don't want to do what I just did. Don't do that. Don't do this. Those are leaders, man, people that you can go and confide in. And you know what? I can tell you right now, he ain't the only one frustrated. There's other people in that locker room frustrated, and they want to be able to have somebody to talk to. You aren't going to go up to the people in the front office and vent. You want to go to somebody that you could trust and communicate the right stuff to you and that you look at as a leader, because you don't want to be told the wrong information. And the other cats out there who's on a practice squad that want to make the team, they're going to go up to a person like Myles Garrett, somebody like that, and be like, hey, man, what do you think I need to do to do better? Because he's been here for a while, the veterans. And not only the veterans in the locker room, some of the older players that they bring around too. The Browns have always done a good job with the Browns backers and stuff like that, to where, cats like Reggie Langhorne or Kevin Mack are leaders as well, to where they understand the frustrations that go on. So I think, like in the locker room, because I've been in it, there's a lot of different pockets of leadership, and it's just not, on the field stuff. It's a lot that goes on off the field, because a week for an NFL player is not what a fan thinks, man. Because I can tell you right now, today is Tuesday, they bring in new dudes to take your spot because of what you're doing on the field and some of what you're doing off the field if they catch knowledge of it. So that leadership part, man, it's all inclusive. It's not just the stuff on the field.
Let me ask you this, just we got to wrap it up. But is this a bad time or a good time for a break when you're 2-6? Because I got to think that when you lose, don't you just want to get right back out on the field?
Nah, sometimes you don't, man. Sometimes you don't, man. Sometimes you need a break, man. Just you hear about all the mental stuff nowadays. Sometimes you need a break mentally, and most times you need a break physically, man. It's a grind. I mean, now it's a little bit different in the NFL because you really can't hit nobody during practice and all that other stuff. But you're always hurt from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Like, you might as well get used to that. So, it's a lot of, if I'm going into the bye week, what am I about to do? Am I going to go home? Am I going to get into this film study so I can be better, the next week? Am I just going to take care of my body, or am I going to do a combination of the two? So I think for them, they got to get mentally right. They got to get together with the quarterback. They need to get together with, defense. I don't care what nobody say. That defense is holding us down. You know what I mean? They're doing their job, at least from what I see. But they're on the field for too long half the time. You know what I mean? The offense is supposed to be on the field all the time. So if it's me and I'm in that locker room and I'm the quarterback trying to establish myself, I'm going to talk to the offense. I'm going to be like, hey, look, let's have some sessions either at my house. Let's come up here. Let's do whatever we got to do. But let's put in that extra work. That's what I would do during this during the bye week. That's what I would do.
All right, party at your house. Sounds good to me. Jamal, thank you.
All right, my man.
Right.
Hey, stop bringing up stuff when we first talk like that, man.
That 285-yard game you had in college, South Dakota?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm going to have to start bringing up stuff about you. That's what I'm going to do.
There's nothing to bring up about me.
Andy, you better stop this right now, this second.
Goodbye, Jamal. We'll talk to you later.
All right, my man.
All right, later. All right, former Browns running back Jamal White.
I didn't know you had any athletic accomplishments there, Baskin.
Do you really want to go down this road?
No, not really, because I have none either.
No one sat the bench better than I did in their senior year in high school. Nobody. I mean, I still have splinters.
I don't know. I might be able to challenge you for that.
At least I had a jersey. That's all I care about. It's part of the team. It's about the team effort. Now you know. Let's come back. Let's talk a little bit about the Cavaliers. Big win last night. Ken and Anthony are off. And, he's Daryl, and I'm Andy.
At Bedford Nissan, the excuses stop here. Because right now you can drive home your favorite Nissan with 0% financing. 0% means lower monthly.
NBA news that happens while you at work. Baskin and Phelps. Weekday mornings starting at 10.
Guys ready for the Surfside Cavs update brought to you by Surfside?
Of course we are.
That was the sentence I had to say. I'm going to say it again here.
Say it again. Say it again.
Well, I got to wait a couple minutes.
We got to wait for it. How about do the
If
Cavs?
I say it again, then you have to stop talking Cavs.
I
It's
got
the
you.
outro.
What if we don't want to stop talking Cavs, though?
Then I'll never say it.
They're on a roll right now.
Cavs rolled all over the Pistons last night, 116-95. Donovan Mitchell, 35 points, 13 of 18 from the field. Jared Allen, 20 points, 7 rebounds. Evan Mobley, 15 points. DeAndre Hunter, 13 points and 6 assists. 6 assists. It was a big deal in the locker room last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. In fact, Donovan Mitchell was asked about it.
Had to grow that relationship over the summer. You guys see him now as a passer, 6 assists, career high, and he was guarding.
No way. Yeah. Dre, 6 assists is your career high? Wow.
He tied it 5 minutes into the game. He tied his career high in assists.
Wow. You talking my joke? I didn't say nothing. Oh, I didn't say nothing. Wow. Damn, he don't pass.
So here, a little
That was great.
A little inside basketball for you.
Okay.
I have to say that this group of Cavaliers might be the best bunch of coconut busters ever in a locker room. They've been doing this for the last couple of years, but some of this stuff, which can't be aired for obvious reasons, but the smack talk that goes on in that locker room, and it's all playful and it's great. Like it's some of the most entertaining stuff ever. So the fact that Donovan Mitchell got on DeAndre Hunter for setting a new career high with 6 assists is nothing new, because this is what they do every night in that locker room. It's hilarious to watch.
So you cover all 3 teams. You're in every locker room right now as a part of your career. Are they the most likable team?
Yeah. Oh, it's not even close. It is one of the most likable teams I have ever covered in my career.
Really?
Yes. They're just a fun bunch of guys. One thing I was curious going into this season, because I felt like the tone going into this Cavs season had shifted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They're no longer the little engine that could. Now the expectation, it feels like, hey, it's NBA Finals, NBA championship or bust. And I remember what it was like with LeBron 2.0 in those 4 years where the Cavaliers went to the finals, all 4 years, and it was championship or bust there. Like, that was a pressure cooker. There were good guys on those teams. Like, don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you could feel
the tension.
Yes.
You would feel the tension there. Like, it was strictly business. So I was curious this year, going into this season, because it was such a fun group, I was wondering if maybe like a switch would flip and some of that fun that they were having behind the scenes would like dissipate and go away a little bit. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really, really glad to see. I saw it Sunday night. I'm glad to see, we just played the clip there. Owen did. I'm really glad that is sticking around.
Do you think, though, I mean, it's easy to have fun in the NBA before Christmas, right? There's nothing really matters before Christmas. Christmas, they played the Knicks again. I think there's definitely a line of demarcation where they're like, all right, it's time to lock it in because of those comments, and we played in the About Last Night Open, but Donovan Mitchell said we can go 82-0 this year and nobody's going to care,
right?
Unless they win in the playoffs.
He's right. He's 100% right.
And that is the truth. I found it hard to Keith got mad at us because we didn't play the Jared Allen "The Lights Are Too Bright," which he made as a joke, and then it became a bigger thing when he scored 4 points, right, and had 4 rebounds, right. So to that point, it was also mid-October. I think the lights definitely do get brighter come the end of January and February. And when they go on that West Coast trip after having such a great record, that West Coast trip that inevitably helps stall the progress that they've made in the season, see if they can make it through that.
So to answer your question, last year, the tone changed in the playoffs. That's when the goofing around and having fun behind the scenes, busting chops, that got dialed back in the playoffs. And you know what? Maybe that was a mistake because their character, and what I mean by character is the wrong word. Their personality. Okay. That's where I'm going. The personality of this team is just a fun bunch of close-knit guys. They're buds. They're not afraid to tell a joke or two at somebody's expense.
Yeah, but they're going to have to win in the playoffs for fans to be able to accept that.
I understand that, but the point that I'm making is they're successful when they have that personality.
Yeah, until we get to the playoffs.
But maybe my point is they need to have it in the playoffs. They need to continue that when they're in the playoffs because
of them if they do that stuff and they don't win, and there's no way to know until then. That's what the whole season is. We're gonna sit here in quicksand and see if we get out of it or not.
Right, but I feel like that tone change that I sensed last year during the playoffs. I think that was part of it. Like the personality kind of went away a little bit because all of a sudden now you're in the pressure cooker. It's about surviving and advancing and win it. And so I hope that this year they maintain that jovial, lighthearted, chop-busting personality. I hope they maintain that through the playoffs because I think that's going to help them. Because the playoffs are a pressure cooker.
Oh, well, we've seen it the last 2 years. Like you said here, like the Knicks and then the Pacers, and you just sometimes.
I'll go back to LeBron 1.0. I'll be honest with you. That's when I really got a true appreciation for what it takes to win a championship and in the playoffs, whether it's baseball or basketball. I can't really say the NFL because the Browns rarely make the playoffs, but. I got a different perspective because a lot of fans, and they do this, and you know this with the Guardians, it's always, I haven't won a World Series since 1948, so the season sucked because they didn't win the World Series. And I look at it through a completely different lens, and I see firsthand the energy, the effort, the work that goes in to each and every one of those, and it's a meat grinder. It really is. And so my point is, fun that they have in the locker room now that helps them win all these games in the regular season, I think they need to maintain that throughout the playoffs, that's the business.
Part of the pressure, though, is a natural part of the game because as you get closer to the playoffs, that the number of guys who are hitting the floor shrinks.
Yeah,
right. And so
you got to tighten the rotation.
Yeah, so guys are looking to make sure that they're in or they're out, or guys are like, "Why am I not in? Why am I only playing 6 minutes tonight, but now I'm playing 24 minutes tomorrow night?" And yeah, that goes back.
And Struce texting the group and telling them step up, and then scoring 0 points.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean this is all fine and dandy right now
Today
in October.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of fine and dandy, what did you think? You guys both think of the broadcast last night? I thought for the first time we've ever watched them on
NBC,
Peacock, the Peacock broadcast last night. Noah Eagle was the play-by-play guy. Robbie Hummel and Austin Rivers were on the bench. So Rivers was on our bench and Hummel was on their bench.
I did think it was weird. I didn't realize because it wasn't until the first break that I knew that those guys were on the bench.
Yeah.
But they were also throwing in color commentary.
Yeah.
Right. So they're contributing to the active broadcast.
Yeah.
Not being by Noah Eagle. I thought that was a little weird. And then I thought it was a little weird that not in a bad way, but just the ability to have a guy 2 feet away from what's happening and it's the reserve guys or the guys who aren't, suiting up specifically. Although Austin Rivers brought up that in the breaks, him and Larry Nance Jr. were catching up on old times, It's different. We'll see. Obviously, I don't think you can do that when you go forward in these matchups that really matter, marquee matchups. But
I liken it to when the players
in Detroit,
like TNT does when TNT had the rights, they would do a players' night where the players did
Derek
the games.
Fisher would do the call.
Yeah,
but somebody had to get. The problem with some of those was someone had to guide the game, and it didn't sound like Eagle guided the game last night. And you put guys, it's just like a game. Put guys in a winning position to be able to do it. I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather. I enjoy listening to former players do analysis.
You know, it'd be really
it's
cool.
hard for me to writers or media people like us. Like it doesn't feel the same to me. I need someone who played the game.
I would love if the NFL did that. Like, instead of having Tony Romo in the booth next to, whoever, have him on the sideline. I think that would be amazing.
It's, I don't know. Really? I don't see a value to it.
ESPN tried it. They threw Booger McFarland in the duck blind.
You can't throw Booger McFarland in that situation. You got to throw a guy like.
I'd like to throw Booger McFarland in a lot.
Here's the other part of it too. I thought the look of the game was super clean. Like, I liked the way.
Yeah, the
presentation. The score box was great on the bottom. Like the way they brought stats in.
Yeah,
it's just a super clean look. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know. You guys, any thoughts on that? I'm a
like
TV
basketball,
nerd.
And when they dribble the basketball up and down the court, I like it.
Oh, you do?
Okay,
who knew that
basketball would say is my favorite sport?
I had no idea.
You like the way they dribble up and down the court.
I like the pick and roll, and I like the give and go. Yeah.
I had no idea. You like to paint the fence, too. I had no idea that Baskin was a score bug nerd.
It's not that I'm a score. It's the overall look. Like, you can clutter up a screen with way too much stuff on it. And
yeah, I do.
This is just, it's a totally clean look. I thought it looked good.
Aesthetically, a lot of broadcasts have gone to that smaller, especially they've gotten away from the scroll on the bottom and things like that. It does make it makes it feel like, I have the big TV, right? And I think a lot of people now have the big TV. And then I have the TV that is in a little bit better definition, but, it's 50, 55 inches, right? And you can go watch those games on that stuff and not feel like I can't even tell who's standing at the top of the key right now because the players are so small because they've used so much of that space to do advertising.
Let me tell you the one thing I can't stand, and you're going to see it with his cup games coming up, are the floors that are like monochrome, or monochrome. Is that what it is? That they looks black and white, and I just show me the game. I don't need the floor to be all messy.
Cavs going to be on maroon.
Yeah, they're
wine.
It's still better than the. If I wanted to watch black and white, I would take the color out of my screen.
Well, that's the Brooklyn Nets colors, though.
I can't. It drives me nuts.
It's the color scheme.
We done talking Cavs?
We're done talking Cavs.
Let me wrap it up real quick.
Go for it.
It's the Surfside Cavs update brought to you by Surfside. Now, no more Cavs talk.
Although I will talk about the NBA because it's NBA tip-off week, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss
Jags at 11.
11:50 in Los Angeles. Carman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the clock strikes me. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
Oh, perhaps the best World Series game ever. That's what some people are saying this morning. Freddie Freeman with the 18th inning home run to give the Dodgers the win over the Blue Jays last night in Game 3 of the World Series. Of course, that audio courtesy of Fox Sports. What'd you think, Daryl? Pretty exciting stuff right there last night. You got to feel it, feel the excitement.
I slept through it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit
You
here
weren't up till 3 o'clock in the morning to listen to this?
No, I woke up at 4. I did. I went to bed a little earlier than 3, but I don't know if it's the greatest World Series game of all time. I kind of feel like the Joe Carter walk-off for the Toronto Blue Jays, that won it.
For you, that's where it is historically.
For me, historically, you win a World Series with a walk-off home run. That was it a great game? Sure. Long game. And if we were in Toronto, we would be doing the World Series Game 3 post-game show this morning. But Dodgers going to win it all, man. I hate it, but I'm coming to grips with it. I was pulling for the Blue Jays. I wanted the Blue Jays to win the series, but I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be the Dodgers going back to back. Must be nice to spend all that.
You got to think so. I mean, you got Ohtani throwing tonight. I mean, it's short.
He's probably going to hit like 2 more home runs.
The other, and it's a weeknight game, and who's going to care?
Yeah.
The other issue too is
the only question is, will the baseball stay within the confines of Dodger Stadium? How about that? The ball that went over the roof. I still can't believe he hit that.
It's pretty amazing. There's no way Ohtani sees another at-bat, a real at-bat. He's going to be...
I would walk him every time.
They should have done it last night.
I don't care if the bases are loaded. I'm still walking him. I would give up a run. One run's fewer than 2 or 3 or the grand slam.
The problem I think Toronto has is that...
My math correct on that, Owen?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I've been looking, 4 is the most that you can get per hit. 1 is the least you can get per hit, runs-wise. And that would be less.
Okay.
I think the problem then for Toronto was if Los Angeles's bullpen was so bad last night, they didn't take advantage of it. They just didn't take advantage of it. They stopped scoring runs. And
I don't know. Los Angeles bullpen looked pretty good to me last night.
Yeah, well, traditionally going into this thing, though,
up there.
That was their chance, though. That was their chance to come back and do it. The other question, and I think it comes into play here, 18 innings, right? Like, I don't understand why.
Who stayed up for that if you're not a Blue Jay or a Dodger fan? Now, I'm being sincere. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck here.
Maybe if you had a bunch of money on the game.
Or you have family playing.
When it end 2:50 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean, if you've got money riding on the outcome of the game, maybe you're, powering through it all to see if your payday hits. But, man, 2:50 on a Monday evening going into Tuesday, like, who has that day off? I mean, I know the guys knew this was going to happen, so they took off today so they could be there prepared for the all-nighter that it was. But, you brought up Joe Carter. Like, that was on a Saturday. I just went and looked it back up.
Yeah.
And, I feel like a lot of those fun things for me were on the weekend. Like, yeah, we got to get these games over with quicker. I know where you're going, Andy. We've got to get it over with.
Here's my point. I was listening to the overnight guy coming in this morning, and he was just praising the Ghost Runner, right? Just praising it like it was one of the greatest inventions in the history.
You mean the automatic runner at second to start the inning?
Yeah, for extra innings. I actually don't mind the idea of the Ghost Runner. I just think if you're going to play 9 innings like that, play 10 or 11 like that, and then implement it. I don't think it's any harm to go into a 10th inning.
It's college football rule. After so many possessions, now we just do 2-point conversions. Same thing.
We had it in a Super Bowl. The Chiefs and the Niners, I think, was a overtime Super Bowl that the Chiefs actually got the ball after the Niners kicked a field goal, right?
Yeah, so I don't understand why we changed rules for the playoffs.
I like the idea of, okay, I'm going to give you I'll give you 3 innings. That's a third of a game. We'll give you 1 additional third of a game.
You get through the lineup
to get through the lineup and playing with the normal. I'm talking about World Series, not regular season. And then once you get to the 13th inning in postseason play, then we're going to go to the runner at second base to start the inning. I think that makes sense. This way, you get 3 innings to win it the traditional way, and then, okay, we need to get this thing over with and wrap it up.
So you're on board with me. So you'd go to the 13th, that's what you're saying?
Believe it or not, I agree with you.
Yeah, first time
Starting in
ever.
the 13th inning, yeah.
It's the whole notion of changing what you do during the regular season. I agree. The NFL rule was the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just be consistent. And I think they
actually
should be
like
consistent.
the regular season rule.
Why couldn't you start it in the 13th inning in the regular season too? Big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about maybe 11th. What are you talking about? 1 more reliever? Maybe.
No,
I get it.
No, if you're going to the 13th inning in the regular season, you're talking about 2, maybe 3 more relievers as well. So I'm all.
That's why a lot of teams keep a long man in the rotation.
So I used
not
to,
in the rotation in the bullpen.
I'll acknowledge I used to be a hardline traditionalist when it came to baseball. I used to loathe when they would make rules changes in baseball. And I've become a lot more relaxed with them because I recognize the games need to be played faster and you need to end them quicker as well. You need to expedite finding a winner to these things. Listen, and you've done it too, Andy. I know you have in your career. We've covered the 14. The then Indians played an 18-inning marathon, I remember. I covered that game, and I remember saying, like, can we just end this thing? Can somebody win it at this point? So I actually like in the regular season that runner on second base to start the inning because you're seeing the visiting team score in the top of the 10th. And then a lot of times you'll see the home team.
Get the walk-offs.
Yeah, you get the walk-offs to answer it. And to me, that's an exciting finish to a game.
And especially, it kind of tells you what your team is if you can't get the walk-off if you're the home team, right?
Yeah.
I do, the rules changes, again, agree, Daryl, like traditionalists and love the way that baseball was. But it's not so much the time, but it's the keeping you entertained. That's the society.
Yeah, you got to move this thing along.
You have to stay entertained at all portions of an event that you're at or that you're watching on TV, right? So you've added, I get it's the World Series, but adding that runner on second base has given you something to invest, stakes to. I mean, guys got on base after the 9th inning last night. We didn't score a run until the 18th.
Right.
So it's not like putting a runner on second, is something different and the stakes are any different. It's still the World Series, right? You're still playing for it. And you're right. 162 times a year, the opportunity for your team to have that extra runner is on there, and then all of a sudden it's not. I don't get why they changed it.
Yeah, and you get that deep into a game, 13th, 14th inning or whatever, then you're at the point, unless it's the heart of your lineup, you're in bunt them over and sack fly to get them in to take the lead territory. That's what you want to do. So I like the idea of putting the automatic runner there on in the 13th inning to expedite the process of finding a winner.
There you have it. All right, you know what's coming up next. It's Baskin and Feltz with Feltz. I just said Feltz. I'm so tired. It's
Are you
Baskin
staying
and
for the
Feltz.
4 hours? Are you doing
no,
another 4
I had a
hours?
bunch of people ask me if I was going to, too, and I was like, nah, I'll pass. Dan is in for me. Coming up next, Mitch, don't take any grief from these guys anymore. Nice job today. Owen, outstanding, as always. Daryl?
We'll do it again soon.
Yeah, we got to wait till after the break. We'll do Brownie Bites after the Browns-Jets game, right? That's
Yes.
the next one?
I'll be in Sunday morning 9 to 1 with Nick Padone.
Oh, nice.
For the bye week.
And you'll be signing autographs at what bookstore lately?
No, that's my friend Terry Pluto.
Oh, that's right. By the way, he gave us his new book. You need to go read it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It seems outstanding. All right, thank you. Be a hero, be a real hero, be an organ donor, lifebank.org. See ya, Cleveland. Ken and Anthony back tomorrow, and Chaser 0084. I'll find you on the side of the road, baby. See ya.
Hey, sounds good.
Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show.
Loser town, loser fans, and you guys are a loser show.
Probably not a good move. Thanks.
This is Boomer and Science with an Odyssey Sports Minute. These have been difficult days for